Greetings, one and all, to this week's episode of 10 o'clock. Yes, we have started. I should have probably given my guests and Loz a little bit of warning, but moving on. I am Xeno. That is a confused... Wait, no, shit. That was a confused Loz. And the disembodied voice we have with us today is our special guest, SprinKah. That is correct, isn't it? That's how you pronounce it.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. There we go. So, for everyone else's benefit, SprinKah did some amazing concept designs of a Grineer, sort of like centipede, centaur thing.
No, it was a Grineer Overseer.
There you go, Grineer Overseer.
So good.
And
thank you. You guys flatter me.
No, you kidding me? That thing was amazing. You looked at it and you just embodied the essence of the Grineer in the universe. It was just like,
and the other one was a Grineer bike, Grineer speeder bike thing. I knew he was going to do that again, so I just wanted to get that out.
So good.
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so we saw SprinKah's art, like, I want to say like a month ago or something like that. And
it's about that much, yeah.
Yeah, and just, thought, let's get SprinKah on the show. So we did. Right, so we start every week the same with emblems. Isn't it right, Loz?
Yep.
So, SprinKah, you see two emblems in the Discord chat in front of you right now. Using whatever criteria you want, which emblem is the winner for this week?
Okay, let me. I'd say I think I like the first one more. I mean, it's
So the space peach.
I don't know. Yeah, the space peach. It's I don't know. There's something adorable about it.
Just to highlight for everyone else's benefit before they start frantically looking for what is wrong, we are aware that SprinKah's microphone is making a weird repeating sound. We ask you to bear with us. There's nothing we can really do to resolve the issue. But yeah, sorry, I thought I'd point that out before people just frantically try and work out what that noise is.
Maybe it's the cooling pad that I have my laptop on, so let me just unplug that. Maybe that helps. You guys still hear any weird?
Yeah, we still hear it.
Sounds like a fan, to be honest.
Does sound like a fan, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I don't have any fan around me. Maybe it's the laptop fan. It's making that noise. Yeah.
I mean, if it was the laptop fan, that is one hell of a poor quality fan.
Well, no, it's not. It's not a poor quality fan. It's just that the way it's picked up sounds that way. That's all.
Well, no. It's just like how is the electrical impedance of the fan impacting the microphone? Those two systems should not connect in any capacity.
You'll be surprised how loud my fan is. It's a fairly old laptop, but yeah.
Right, okay. So, we have the winner for the week. It's the Space Peach. I'm just going to put the emblems up again, right? And if you want to win 150 Platinum for your platform of choice, please go in the description below where you'll see a link to a Google form. In the Google form, you'll see this week's emblems. I've just remembered. We're on an even number of episodes. You'll see this week's emblems, and you get to choose which emblem you like. Doesn't matter which one you choose, you'll all get a chance of winning 150 Platinum for your platform of choice. Make sure your in-game name is correct, because if it is not, DE will message me going, this person hasn't sent the right name. And then that's 150 Platinum just gone to waste. So make sure your name's correct. And yeah, we'll move on to the cards. No, Dojo Dusting. Loz and I will be at TennoCon.
Yay!
I don't think we've booked any flights or anything yet, but we're making grandiose gestures and we'll be at TennoCon.
Well, we will be there. We'll just be very poor.
Yeah, this seems... Oh, God, don't remind me. Yeah, so SprinKah, I'm assuming that you will not be joining TennoCon.
I wish I can, but who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I wish I can. Yeah, I wish I would be able to. I will.
Here's hoping.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. So I don't think...
I don't fly that much, but I do hope that I will be able to, if my situation calls for it.
Here's a question. If you fly every year, is that flying much?
I don't fly, like, for years now. I mean, I don't travel much, like, at all.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm mostly referring to, like, Loz and myself, because we've gone to TennoCon every year so far.
Okay.
But it's
I'd say that, yeah, I think that's a fair amount of traveling, yeah. I think that's okay.
I think Loz may be comatose at this point. It's kind of hard to tell.
Trying to find a new Warframe hat.
Right, okay, so moving on to the graphs from last week's episode. So, SprinKah, you will have seen higher up in the Discord chat, I posted 4 graphs from the polls of last week. So,
Yes.
cool. Graph number 1, how do you want to handle Kuva Liches? Is that really what okay, that's apparently how I posted the thing. Can you see the graphs?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Cool. So the context for this, to make everyone's lives easier, was people were talking about having ships in Railjack for their converted Kuva Liches. Right? And there was a lot of debate of how it should be implemented. Some people didn't like the idea of building a ship for their Kuva Liches when building the Railjack one alone was painful. So we proposed various different options. 45 people responded. 4% said do nothing / don't care. 24% said they can teleport with you, so when you go onto a cruise ship, they'll just teleport there. 26% said torpedo them at cruise ships, which is clearly the correct answer. And 44% said build / steal them a ship. So I think one of the things that Loz proposed was you go out, you stole a cruise ship, and then you go and repair it and give it to the Kuva Liches, converted Kuva Liches. So, there's some context. SprinKah, what do you think?
Build and steal them ship. I mean, it would be really cool if we were able to hijack some Grenier cruise ships and maybe store them somewhere, right? And let Kuva Liches use them. But I mean, technically, in a technical sense, I think you would actually just let them teleport with you, right?
Well,
in a technical sense.
I think if there was enough of an outcry for this, DE would look at implementing it. They've had it a few times where the community's demanded some stuff, like the universal vacuum being the biggest thing. It's basically happened. And yeah, I think that if there's enough demand for people to be able to, refurbish, that's a good word, refurbish Grenier cruise ships for converted Liches, I think DE would be on board for implementing it. So
I would love to see such a thing, yes.
Cool.
I mean, yeah.
Right, next one. Would you rather Glassmaker or Operation Scarlet Spear? So during DevStream 138, DE, do you watch the dev streams at all?
I do. I watch all of them.
Right. So Operation Scarlet Spear and Glassmaker. Right. Yeah. So 46 people responded. 47% said Glassmaker. 52% said Operation Scarlet Spear. But that 47% didn't realize that Glassmaker was not an operation. So they clearly meant Operation Scarlet Spear as well. So that was 100%. No, I'm joking. I'm joking entirely. Right. What do I want? Right. So, SprinKah, what would you rather have first?
In my opinion, I don't really. Scarlet Spear. I mean, I would actually prefer like a game-wide operation.
Yeah.
First, yes, but then again, because in my opinion, I don't really like the whole Nightwave system. Sure, they give you a lot of stuff, free stuff. They give you some things to do as well, but a lot of the challenges, and it does feel like a chore.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You don't feel truly rewarded for doing the work.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, but because we don't really know much about the story behind Glass yet.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to say. But
I feel that Glassmaker is going to be a story-based event where the Corpus ships have been rebuilt and they're introducing a new quote-unquote old character for the Corpus. So it just feels like this is just more expansion of the world, much like the Jupiter tileset rework, than an actual event or anything like that.
I see. Yeah, I guess let's say, I suppose if that is the case, I would actually prefer a Glassmaker before Operation Scarlet Spear, because to be honest with you, I don't really like the sentient aesthetic.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
Loz?
So I haven't seen too much of it on the ship, but I think it's all right, the sentient aesthetic. But if you mean the question to do with
I do mean the question.
Glassmaker or Operation Scarlet Spear. I'm going to go with the Operation, because I really think it's been a long time since we had a serious one.
Yeah.
I want to see them do something good.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess Operation would be nice too, because it feels like a community thing, I guess.
Yeah. And also, if there's trophies, that's what I care about. Let's move on to the next one. Right, so the next one is...
Yeah, sure. Your trophy per year quotient is just too low, isn't it?
It's far too low. I've got a good 3/4 of a trophy room to fill here, guys. Right.
Wow.
Right, okay, so the next... Actually, probably more than that. Anyway, next. Implementation or originality. So, I'm not entirely sure what this came off the back of, but I think there was a comment or something in one of the posts where they were talking about that whatever work was to be implemented into Warframe had to be original, and I pushed against that because originality is dead. Not, in a harsh manner, but it is just simply a case of that there's, what every movie is now like a taking heavy inspiration from other movies. It's I think they said that the last original movie was Inception, but even then that was still taking inspiration from something else.
I agree with you. Yeah, originality is kind of iffy nowadays.
Yeah,
It's like it's risky, in a production point of view. It's like, people can't, filmmakers, game makers, they can't really afford to push out with new ideas anymore because everything costs so much, especially film production.
Yeah.
So if they put something into a new IP, it would go either way, either it succeeds or either it fails miserably. So yeah.
Right. So 46 people responded. 8% said originality. 91% said implementation. From what I'm gathering, the three of us all feel implementation is more important than originality.
Well, there is that old thing that there's only so many, I think 12 stories or something you can tell, and everything's just derivative of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, originality's a really hard thing to do. I think they've got enough originality in Warframe. It's its implementation. Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Right.
Yes.
And then the last graph is do you feel disconnected with newer Warframes? Right. Okay. So Loz and I were trying to decide when it was that we were, we felt a disconnect with the newest stuff. I can't remember where we drew the line. I think you said Nidus and I said Harrow.
No, I think we both said Harrow we could understand.
He's really bloody difficult.
He's difficult. No, but you could understand you were doing things with the abilities. It's ones where you sort of go, where would I... you could understand what you were doing. This healed, this gave crit. I think you said...
I know Octavia.
Cora.
No, it's before Cora. But Cora was another example. No, Octavia, I still feel like, what am I doing with Octavia? Okay, sound. Right, crouch. Am I doing it right, guys? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a problem, Octavia. I really hate that whole movement gain buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with Harrow is when you finish casting, it tells you what you've done. You've given this much crit. You've done this much healing or damage. It comes up with,
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones, you're like, I'm doing things. I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think with... I think I use the example of Hildren as just like, cool, I'm now in Apache attack helicopter mode, and I don't know why.
Do you know, I think there's several levels of disconnect. There's some Warframes that I go on, and I literally am like, I don't get what the whole tool set's supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be casting buttons. I mean, for me, that's like Nidus and a Nyros. I'm like, I'm pushing buttons. Things are apparently happening. I'm not sure. And then there's frames like Hildren, which I can go on, and I feel maybe Gauss is kind of... maybe not Gauss. But you go on them, and there's like one or two abilities that you understand, and then you're like, okay, I get this and I get this. But then why am I an attack helicopter?
Yeah.
I can understand this steals the shields of my enemies and gives them an armor for enemies and gives it to me. This is giving some sort of buff to my teammates. Very simple, very effective. I get that. This number one gives me a gun. Fair enough. I probably won't use it. Not sure what the advantage of that gun is, but there's a gun. Fair enough. And there's like, this one turns you into an attack helicopter. But
why? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that was a weird show.
Like, that's nice.
I mean...
Or Revenant. I'm going to spin around lots. But why?
Yeah. Spin to win. Oh, wait, no, what was it? Shit, I can't remember the song, Loz. Loz, song
Until
me.
they die.
If
Yes.
you
Justice, they will cry.
Yeah. So we were... Garen?
Garen.
Yeah, from League of Legends. There was a parody song. And, yeah.
Good song.
Right, okay, so that's it for the graphs. Wait. Yes, yeah. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I read out the numbers. Did I read out the numbers?
No.
49 people responded. 40% said yes. 59% said no. So I think, Loz, we're just getting old.
It could be we're getting old. It could be getting old. I don't know what it is, though, because when there's a new Warframe out, what I try and do, maybe this is how I'm doing it wrong, is I go into missions and try and make use of the abilities. I often find a new war. This is because otherwise, if I don't, I'll go into a new mission and go, "That's nice," and I'll just take my good guns and I'll be like, "Yay, this Warframe is level 30 now."
Bye.
Whereas before, when at the start of the game, years and years ago, you had to, you always use the Warframe's abilities. You just did things with them.
Yeah.
I miss Slash Dash.
Right. Okay. So moving on, we got the Patreon questions. Good sir.
Right, okay. There. Oh, it's big again. Need to open the original. Right, okay. And zoom. It's tricky. I don't really know how to say this name.
Feel free to time box us on anything.
Okay. Well, first of all, from Joshua Minchi. What Warframes that have no lore in particular would you want to see get
Loki.
Laverian treatment the most? Okay. And SprinKah?
Yes. Can you repeat the question again?
Oh, so the question... So you know that some Warframes have quests, like you've got Limbo, you've got Mirage. They have a quest where you kind of learn a bit about the Warframe. Then you got the older Warframes that kind of don't have any real lore to them. So I suppose you got the lore on the codex, like Rhino, Excalibur, Ember, that kind of stuff. but some of the newer ones, they just don't have that any really lore attached to them. So like Wisp, like why Wisp? Why Hildred? So is there any particular Warframe you would like to learn more about?
Sorry, just to highlight the Lavarian. Have you used the Lavarian before?
I have.
Yeah,
I've
cool.
gone in and looked at them. Yes.
Right. So we're talking about which Warframe that hasn't had a quest. Would you? Did he say the older stuff?
No, just said no
cool.
lore.
Right. So what Warframe that has currently no lore would you like to see in the Lavarian?
I'd say Chroma. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's simply the fact that he's my favorite Warframe for a while. There's nothing really deep about it.
Yep. Chroma is a
you see, Chroma, he makes sense as well. Breathe fire, buff stuff again, and then have big fly thing. It's like, what's not to understand? It's like, I get it. It's like, there you go. Auto turret. Yeah. Anyway, some lore would be lovely. It really would be good old Chroma. The next one from Joshua Minish.
You mean Minuche?
Minuche. When are we going to get double memes? Double memes, Loz. Double memes. No.
The community demands it. This wasn't even Zrugal that demanded it, Loz. The community
demanded it in
double
the comments. Zrugal demanded it in the
There
comments.
you go. So. You got 2 sets of demanding for double memes. Come on, everyone.
I see there's a heart on Joshua Minuche's thing, which is clearly Zrugal backing him up here. This is just a conspiracy of memes.
I'm like,
now moving on.
I'm like, did
Zrugal,
I don't remember.
Has MDRLOz ever been a host on Arbiter's assessments? I forget. No. I don't think I have. I think I was going to be for an anniversary one, but I think that passed already.
The 100th one. Yeah, I can't remember what happened. Yeah. I think I was trying to organize it, and it just became absolute chaos. And
what would it take to get MDRLOz on Arbiter's assessments? No chaos happening, I guess. Zrugal
it's 100% chaos.
It's always, I know. No, I don't mean that. I mean chaos as in, like, whatever stopped me last time. Because I was going to do it for, like, a special whatever, but then there must have been something.
Yeah.
That organization or something. Zrugal then says face rig, question mark. Zrugal, face rig is going to be our eternal thing that eventually we'll figure out at some point for, like, I'm sure. What would it, Zrugal then says, what would it take to get you to play Getting Over It Again while doing face rig?
Patreon
not being serious.
500. Okay, never mind.
Okay, I'm mostly just teasing you, but there you go. $500 on Patreon, that'll do it for him. Yeah. Nick Evans says, what is the opinion of all 10 o'clock hosts on DE actually making good on the updates they want to provide for MAG and Excal based on Telecon new introduction cinematic? I did not know they were going to do anything for Excalibur. What were they going to do for
Excalibur?
I remember MAG because they were going to do the bullet holder.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see it until 2021 at the earliest.
Yeah.
They are going to rework MAG? I haven't heard anything about this.
It wasn't a real MAG, but have you seen the new introductory cinematic that they've pushed out?
Yes,
where MAG stops all the bullets?
Yes.
And then she throws them back. That was apparently going to happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they
they
said during TennoCon last year that they were going to just bring this in, but it wouldn't be until like after all the stuff they currently got lined up, so I can't imagine this coming in until 2021 at the earliest.
It's gonna take a while.
Yep.
Though, in my opinion, if it actually just like reflects back, bullets mobs throw at you, right? I feel like that would be kind of pointless in terms of DPS.
Yeah, but if it, I think I think you're right. I think damage wise, that's I think some of the key thing with some abilities these days is it goes, oh, that looks really cool or sounds really cool, and it's like, but I could just shoot them. It's just the answer to everything.
Yeah.
I think if maybe, and this would be very good, if MAG can cast this ability while still also shooting a secondary, and it's more like a wall in front of the MAG, so it could be used to shield your team as well. And then maybe when you shot the bullets out, if you had enough, there'd be a minor stun or a CC or a knockdown or something.
Something like a directional frost glow.
Yeah.
That would be nice, yeah.
I think you'd have to have that. Because if it's just, I'm holding for bullets, and it does no damage, Or maybe
You're
the damage
right.
would be proportional to the end. I don't know, but it's, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Joshua Minich says, been listening to previous 10 o'clock episodes. Why would you subject yourself to this kind of torture? That's just silly. And I recently heard the one where you talk about the multiverse, and I loved it because I'm already writing a story set in the Warframe universe that involves time travel and a creation of a multiverse of my own making, wish fulfillment, where main characters can and will die. I just wanted to ask XenoLoz and the guest, if your operators actually had been given names, what would the names be? I totally will write in these characters in the story, briefly, but they'll be there.
I'll have to come back to you because there's typically one name I always go with, but
His name would be MDRLOz.
Yeah, Loz is epic at character creation, ain't you, Loz?
Unless he's an orc, then he'll be called Gragneth, but he'd need to be an orc.
There you go.
And that is all. Right. The Voidsmith. Oh, sorry, no, I'm sorry. Silly me. SprinKah, what would your character be called?
What is your operator? What do you call your operator?
Yeah.
Well, I have never thought about this.
I know, it's so I'm just like, name is Loz.
It has to sound fitting for the Warframe universe, like, as well. I mean, you can't just call your character something like, I don't know, Bob.
Loz.
Bob. No,
Bob
you
the
can't.
operator.
Yeah. But yeah, it's hard to say. I got nothing. I have nothing in my mind.
That's fun.
Yeah.
The Voidsmith says, with TennoCon announced, would you consider asking DE to use the DevStream couches to film a special TennoCon 10 o'clock episode? I will direct you back to episode something, where we already did that.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I can't imagine they'd let us do that only because of the chaos that is constantly happening around them. Like, as soon as TennoCon's over, they just like, relax. So
Yeah. So I think they don't mean to do it. I think after every year, it's probably like when you drink too much, you say, I won't drink again. I bet you after TennoCon, they say, okay, next TennoCon is going to be more straightforward. And we're not going to save up a load of stuff and do some crazy on-stage shenanigans, and it'll only just work, and we'll be showing something amazing. They're like, no, we'll just make it simple next year. And then all the best intentions disappear, and then they do a crazy, probably month building up to that, the reveals and things, and getting TennoCon ready, even though it's literally just down the road from them, or just across the street from them.
Yeah.
And then after the weekend, they're just all like, we're all taking a week off.
I mean,
that's what basically they do.
The big thing is we wouldn't be able to use their facilities unsupervised because like their setup requires someone to man the actual rigs and everything. Like, even when we did it last time, Dean was there the entire... was it an hour long? Or did we do 2 hours?
I can look it up.
Yeah, like when we did the last one, Dean was there manning the actual stations and everything, so I can't imagine. Like, yeah, I'm not really prepared to ask. It just feels...
Also, you you probably don't realize how messy the rest of that room is.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I bet it's still in the same state. I bet you it has not changed.
Well, no, because Steve showed off, like they were doing a release or something, a mainline update, and Steve was walking around. He had the parallel stream with the dev stream at the same time when Rebecca was on her own, and he just went behind the cameras like, yep, look at all these cables! They're everywhere!
Yeah, oh God, the cables.
Everywhere.
So it's episode 231. It's an hour and 20 long, and we did it with Aiden and Taylor.
Yep. Cool. Right. So, yeah, Patreon questions. Are we done? Loz?
What? Sorry, I pushed start and that just stopped the sound, so I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
Patreon questions. Are we done?
No, we've got Tatsu, the last one. Opinion on the recent Lich changes and how some people use the Brahma. Should it be nerfed?
It's nothing. Oh, God. Right. Okay. Wait, how do people use the Brahma?
Maybe?
Just wrong? Right.
Hmm?
Okay. One, I like the Lich changes. I like not having to wait 3 days for to get back up after you fail to kill it. I like the fact that, again, that was a change that we all asked for. Like, we wanted it so that we failed to kill it, which was good. can't think of much else in terms of the changes. Cooler, additional kill animations. I don't have a huge issue with the Brahma. I know a lot of people have complained about it. I had a conversation with Joey about this just yesterday, where it was so easy to self-kill, but I spent 3 hours on Wednesday playing Warframe, and I did take the Brahma at some point with me, and I noticed that there was a minimum fire distance, so I wasn't able to self-kill myself. So, maybe they've already addressed it, I don't know. But I don't think it's a problem.
Fair enough.
Do you have the Brahma, SprinKah?
Oh yes, one of my favorite weapons right now. The thing is, like the Kuva Liches changes, right?
Yes.
It kind of bumps me out a little bit.
Why?
I mean, technically, they are very good changes. I'm not gonna lie. I love the changes, but you have no idea how much I love getting pummeled by the Liches. Yeah. And I have probably over 50 Liches by now.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Okay, maybe it should just be an occasional thing where you try to do it, but then the Lich just grabs you and breaks your spine. But
yes.
It just shouldn't happen all the time.
Yeah, okay, fair enough, yeah. I dig that, yeah. And also, I think the Brahma is perfectly fine where it is. It's like high risk, high reward. It's such a good weapon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Making it like deal no self damage would, make it probably one of the best weapons.
I assume you don't have the Brahma yet, Loz.
No.
Right. So that was it for the Patreon questions, yeah?
Yeah.
So community responses. I keep doing that.
Cool. So several people reported this last week. Apparently, I don't know if you know, whatever is wrong with my internet completely destroyed the episode at points.
What?
Yeah, so everything stops. Everything stops in the episode, and it does seem to be that there's like, Loz must have lagged out there. I'm not sure if I can get you timestamps for it if you want.
Yeah, if you could.
The timer's going, ticking along, but like you're not talking, the guest isn't talking, I'm not talking, and the screen is frozen.
Oh,
several points.
Crap! I didn't know that was. Oh crap! Okay.
Technical issue?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
I don't think that's Loz's internet. I think that's something else.
I don't know, because it would happen at the same time, because it would always return with, I think Loz's internet crapped out there. Maybe there is something else going on there, I don't know. And I can give you the timestamps for it later to have a look at. I apologise for anyone who was like, is my internet connection broken? Because apparently 7 people did check their own internets, because then they realised the timer was going up, but it was completely frozen.
Oh crap, okay. Shit.
So anyway, Majoga says, I think Nightwave is the perfect platform to tie up these other stories we have with loose ends. Me personally, I'd love to see them bring back Misery through a Nightwave and give us not only a small explanation of what the Acolytes are, but also where the hell Misery has been, since it has never returned since the first time. I want to see Acolyte variant weapons and Acolyte auxiliary mask, like how we can equip the Eidolon mask, etc. I did not know this. Has Misery not returned?
No, because Misery was the souped up version of the Acolytes that would summon the other Acolytes to join them in the fight. Misery was part of the event of Shadow Blight. Shadow Debt? No, Shadow Debt.
But that's interesting. And to be honest, it seems the Acolytes are back again, aren't they? I think they're back again.
They're gone now.
Are they gone again? Yeah. They come, they go, whatever. But I'd like to see what are they? I mean, when they came out, it was kind of like an interesting, easy way for them to add a cool little event. I do hope that they had an intention of what they are or what they're going to be. They need to fit into the lore somewhere. They can't just be, they were just cool. I really hope that's the point, and they're not just some sort of meme joke. And I think a Nightwave on them would be really cool.
Yep.
Me too.
Next,
yeah.
Raphael Skerrit. Loz and everyone else can stop whinging about Mass Effect. I haven't played it ever, and I don't intend to. Your life will be less enriched than it could be. It's very sad.
It's fine.
Yokai 1235. Well, wait, to be honest, all you need to do, right? I'll tell you what's going to happen at some point, because this is all that's happening at the moment with everything else.
They're going to for a remaster that breaks it.
They're going to make a remaster that's probably going to be like all 3 games in one thing, as in one continuing game. And it'll be like, yeah, I'll just play it then, and I'll wait for that as well before I play it again. But like that'll be good, and then they'll probably even like to add stuff into it because
I'll just find a Mass Effect lore in a minute video.
No, it's the gameplay, man. It's good fun. It's good fun. Anyway,
is it though?
Yokai 1235. You barely got anywhere.
It's still crap.
You only played the first one as well. Yokai 1235. Xenogelion. I don't see new Warframes being played. Background video. Xeno literally touching people playing new Warframes.
What was I playing?
I don't know, but apparently that's not. I don't have a timestamp. No, not that you were using the new Warframe, but at that point in the video, the footage has you probably on your Oberon, I'd imagine, but people next to you, as in literally touching them, will be new Warframes.
No. I think I was saying that I don't see people play Revenant.
Yeah, you said new Warframes being played.
Can't imagine I'd say that broad sweeping a statement. I would have really thought I would have been specific and say I don't see, because I've had people say to me like Revenant's like really spammy and shit like this, and just another older version of Ember to spin to win. But I don't see Revenants.
I don't think Yokai 1235 would be so inaccurate with their statements. Anyway, moving on. Trex Paddock. In the original Elite for the Commodore 64, there was a 3D radar. The remake uses also the same system. In terms of psychology at work, DE was better off with the alert system they had before. It is an irregular reward schedule, and that is the optimal way to keep people engaged in an activity. Just saying.
No.
I think yes and no. I do miss the alerts. The problem with the alerts wasn't the way they worked. It was just the rewards. They never did a systematic improvement on the rewards. Imagine if they gave you a currency that you'd save up, different currencies, and there'd be a special vendor for them. And then, you know, just like you get with Nightwave, but instead that vendor would be for random alerts, and some alerts would give more, some would give other things. Maybe they'd put special ornaments in there. That's the thing, they've got so many ornaments and cosmetics.
But the big thing is that your availability to do the alerts dictates your progress with that alert system. Like, no, I remember you getting up specifically because you set an alarm to get the Valband parts. You got up at like 3 a.m. to get certain Valband parts.
Yeah, but that was the Valband part, okay. The thing with when I was saying about having a vendor is you didn't need to put the really rare stuff on things. On specific alerts that are up for an hour at 2 a.m. and it wouldn't appear for a month. That was just silly.
No, I get that, but let's say that you.
But what you do? No, stop. What you do is, if there is anything like that, you just put it on the vendor as well for a high price. Job done.
Right. So then the people that don't have the time to do the alerts, that don't have time to get the tokens, suffer because
no, they don't. Why can they not do? Okay, but the alerts.
They don't have time.
All the alerts will give at least one token.
Right, so they can do like maybe one
by
alert.
By that logic, your logic is moot, because by that logic they'll never finish a Nightwave. They don't have time.
No, because the whole point of the Nightwave system is you can do the Nightwaves. The alerts are scheduled, right?
Yeah.
You have to be there at the right time, right?
Yeah.
The Nightwave thing, you've got a week to do them in, apart from the...
see there, you've conflated an issue. That's the thing, Nightwave has a time limit. The alert system would never have a time limit. It doesn't need one. So, yeah, you wouldn't get...
Why is there a time limit? Because you just go from one Nightwave to another.
Yeah, but you've got to get the items within that Nightwave or within that week, and then if you don't get it within that week, you have to do the very slow and time-consuming process of doing only at maximum 3 at a time. There is time limits on that. And then now you're taking that and saying it's on the same alert system. The person who doesn't have much time. This is the issue. Don't talk about Nightwave. Talk about the alert system.
So say you've got one day a week. If you've got one day a week, right? One day a week, you can blitz through all of the.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
What do you mean? No, you can't.
No, you can't, because there's things
you can't do the one sortie thing.
And let's say you probably might not be able to get item statues because you might not be able to get enough item statues in one day, and you might be waiting on your Maru's thing to refresh, so that's going to be over multiple days.
I don't think... Is the item statue still in there?
It was, because I did it the other day.
Okay, fine. Right, how many item statues do you have to do?
3.
3, okay. So, yeah.
Whereas the alert system, you could log in and be like, oh, there's 3 alerts up. I'll do those 3 alerts. I'll get some tokens. I log off again. And I log in a different time. Hey, there's 3 different alerts.
Were there ever 3 alerts at the same time?
No, but in my system, I'm saying there could be. That's the thing. You're not letting me do minor changes to my system.
So you're flooding... Oh, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there would be up to 3 alerts up at a time in the old system. Easily.
What,
not often, but all the time. Yeah, exactly. See, now you're directly remembering that system, and in my system would be better and improved. They never improved on that system was my original point.
No, I'm really not for this, because some people are just going to end up with a new form of currency that they got hundreds of millions of, and other people are like, I can't get this enough because I don't have the time. I really am not for this.
It would be easier than the old Natane, and that was problematic. But anyway, it's hardly going to be implemented. You're just being stubborn and
no, it's people not moving forward with the new system. It's people like, I want it to go back the way it was. But it was a problem the way it was.
Yeah, because that was my point. They never improved on it. They literally, the alert system, they put it out at the start, and they never added anything new into the reward pool, apart from Natane.
Okay, let's hear what SprinKah has to say on this. I'm going to shut up.
Alerts, eh? I think it fits what Warframe is, because like, let's say, like this settlement needs your help, right? So like, alert pops up and you just go there and you help out stuff. It kind of fits Warframe. I think they could have done something more to it. I agree with LOZ, but yeah, it's a shame that they just took them away. I think they could. I really want something. They bring back alerts to implement that to the Kuva system. Like when you convert your Kuva Liches, right? Maybe you get like alerts occasionally. Things like invasion-like alert, right? Mm-hmm. Where you come in and you fight maybe like infested or corpus with like lich force next to you, kind of like that sort of thing. That'd be nice. That'd be cool, in my opinion. Kind of a sort of make the game a little more immersive.
Yeah, alive as well.
Yeah, it's more alive.
Yeah. All right, but let's move on to the last bit. Last one. It's quite a long one, this one. But so, Dovaro.
Joshua.
Also, a thought. Dovaro. Also, a thought occurred to me as I listened to the episode. I can realize a major disconnect with recent Warframes because there is no new lore. I haven't had any complaints about Gauss or Grendel at all. They have unique kits and a backstory to boot. But with Atlas and Vara, I'm sure many of the older frames will soon be getting their places in the Leverian. It is a much less convoluted way of finding the lore about them and making you actually care about them. I cannot form any backstory of Hildren, Baruch, Garuda, or Wisp from what I remember. Sure, Revelant got at least some lore, and Core of Venari has some stuff with ghoul fragments and journal entries. But unless a Warframe has gotten to be the focus or a major part in a quest, Umbra and the Sacrifice, Harrow, Octavia, Limbo, there is no hype for a new Warframe since they just appear out of nowhere. Protea is most definitely going to get a Leverian, so with that at least, we can find out a little of what she's about. But nobody really knows how Hildy got her 30 abs, or what made Wisp, or why Garuda has a thing for blood. Sigh, okay, rant over, but in short, I will care for newly released Warframes if they have a backstory or hint of one I can latch onto and appreciate. Their kits can be fixed or reworked if need be, but fixing story is far more difficult thing to accomplish. Now, I hope you're listening. My point was going to be, there's an interesting little description there, but then my thoughts went to the fact that back in the day, when we had the original Warframes, they never had any background or story, and it didn't really reduce my ability to latch onto them. I mean, Limbo, I think, was the first one, and Mirage? That got sort of the quests.
Mirage was the first.
Was it Mirage the first? Okay. Yeah. How do you guys feel? Do you need lore to get yourselves into a Warframe, and feel it out?
In my opinion, I think lore does help with getting players hyped up and
Hmm.
more into the Warframes. But yeah, like you said before, they didn't really have much going on for the Warframes. And the thing is, I'm still a little confused with the backstory and all the things going on with the Warframe. Maybe I just didn't pay enough attention to them, but they do seem to, the lore and the story behind the Warframes do seem kind of inconsistent, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Yeah. Things like, is it Warframes a suit, or are they an actual being with thoughts and emotion?
Hmm.
Because I read the Ivera Laverian, and it seemed like she was actually an individual herself.
Hmm.
And maybe that was the operator controlling it, but I don't know. It was because back in like Second Dream, it seems like Warframes are just static steel suits that just move, that just doesn't do anything.
Hmm.
Actually,
they're just like
actually, just to highlight this one element of the Second Dream that reveals that there is some autonomy for the Warframes when you're fighting the Stalker at the very end. He separates the operator from the Warframe. The Warframe's been stabbed with a sword and with War, and the Warframe basically breaks War, which severs Harrow's connection to the Stalker and forces the Stalker to like disappear or whatever. But
Hunhow.
I apologize. Yes, Hunhow. Yeah.
So it just sounded weird, like Harrow, the mysterious mastermind behind everything.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, he separates. So your Warframe separates the connection between Hunhow and the Stalker, forcing the Stalker to go away, but your operator had no contact with the Warframe in the slightest.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I think that with the Warframes, like, there are two different types of Warframes. There's ones that are like the Umbra, where Umbra has like its own, intelligent thought process, and then there are ones like Ivara, who may have had an original, but I think Ivara was created off a blank human being. Like there was no original Dax soldier that the Helminth virus or the Helminth infestation.
We don't know they use Dax soldiers.
No, we don't. But that's what I'm saying. I think with Warframes like Ivara, like Oberon, like Limbo, I think they were made off of blank humans. Right?
Like clone humans or something.
Exactly, that had no previous experience, life, anguish, whatever, but the operators were still controlling them. So I think there was one operator that worked with Ivara. There was one Ivara at one point. But I could be wrong. It could be just like Umbra.
Yeah, you're right. I think Umbras are like Dax soldiers turned into Warframes, right?
It's just the one. It's just the one.
Because like if you look at like Stalker, right? Stalker, like the Shadow Stalker from the Second Dream, he has the same body pattern, exactly like Umbra.
Also like Excalibur.
Yeah. No, Excalibur and Shadow Stalker, they have different texture in their chest and maybe like. You see on Shadow Stalker, he has this pattern.
So, right, there was one fan theory, I think it came on a comment from 10 o'clock, right, that the sacrifice was meant to be Stalker's story, not Excalibur Umbra, which makes it ties it in so much better. Replace Umbra with...
Stalker.
Yeah, I mean, look at the mangled face of Stalker, and then you have the ridged face of Umbra, right? Maybe That's what Stalker was supposed to be. And you get Umbra from healing Stalker. That would have been such a cool narrative.
That would have been nice. Yeah.
I know.
That would have been cool.
How cool would that have been? I really think that was what the original intent was. But I think they were concerned too many people would have complained, oh, but why can't I play Stalker? You've given me Umbra. I wanted to play Stalker. Yeah.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
In the end, yeah, I understand. But I really wish, when the Stalker mode comes out, I really wish we get more, fleshed out lore behind the Stalker.
Yeah.
Because it's still a little behind the smoke, right?
All you'd have to do is you make that Umbra is the original form of Stalker, and that the actual Stalker we see now is what he's like after being around by himself for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So if you try and clone that Warframe, you just get Umbra, because that's what the pattern tells us to do, and it's the more environment nature of what's happened to his frame. So you are technically playing the Stalker Warframe, but you're playing what the Stalker Warframe was meant to be, not after it's been warped for thousands of years.
Yeah.
I do admit that story is, because I did not like the sacrifice, that would have made it, that makes it all fit together.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yes. I think Stalker, in a sense, is like Umbra, because I think they are kind of the same. Just had a little different sort of direction. I mean, like Stalker, he wasn't locked up from my balance like Umbra did. But he just wandered around, right? I mean, they basically I think Stalker and Umbra are basically the same type of Warframe. But
And then, it makes even more sense, doesn't it? Because then you're like, well, why is Stalker hunting Tenno now? But obviously he's been around, awake, whatever, for thousands of years, so his memory's not going to be very good, and he's just lashing out at the only relic of the Orokin Empire he still sees. And then when you see him kind of questioning himself at the end of
Second Dream.
It makes sense, because he's kind of like, wait, is that what I am? Wait,
Yeah.
what am I? And it kind of makes sense, and then you're investigating that story from...
Yeah,
him
I
himself.
really wish there was a continuation of that story. I really, really wish there was.
the thing is, they made it so Umbra Warframes are basically Warframes that are made from Dark Soldiers that are sort of like driven by a single memory, right? Like with Umbra's loss of his son, killing his son, he's driven by anguish and hatred or stuff like that. And the same thing is with Stalker as well. From the Stalker lore, he was like a lower soldier, right? And he saw the Orokin Empire fell apart. He was a loyalist, and he was so angry. Maybe he took a technocide virus and turned himself into the Stalker.
Yeah, the helminth strain, because that was what was used to turn. I'm pretty sure they actually named the Dax, or maybe they just named the sun. But I'm pretty sure when the Dax soldier gets converted into the Umbra, it's because of the helminth infestation.
I don't know if... Oh no, he was a Dax, wasn't he? He was
a general.
Yeah.
He
was a general. So that's the thing. I don't sure if Dax is... I'm not sure if he gets called a Dax soldier. I just know that he is referred to as a general. I'm not sure if is that more of a rank than a generic term for all of those soldiers.
I think Dax is more the subspecies of human.
Oh, you think
Dax
it's
is more like it's just the soldier name of the entire. Like it's just the name of the soldier, like SWAT or SAS.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is it something that anyone can just get applied that name to? Yeah, but anyway,
I don't think it is. I think it's Anyway, sorry. Yes, you're right. You're lost. Let's move on.
Move on.
Because we're building our own narrative here. As fun as it is, I was like, wait a minute, let's go find some topics.
Right. Okay. So topics. That's the thing we do in it. Right. So topic 1. I wish Eidolons weren't time-gated, right? Topic 2. The amount of things that can one-shot non-tanky Warframes is getting a bit high. And then topic 3. Tobiah chose this just to bloody trigger me. Why Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis system worked and why Warframes didn't.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
Well done, Tobiah.
Okay, I literally messaged him. I was like, I just saw the title of the third topic. Did you choose that to trigger me? It's like, that's one of the criteria. Okay, cool. Right. So topic 1. I wish Eidolons weren't time-gated. I know they only show up at night due to lore reasons or whatever, but man, hunting Eidolons are, I think that's supposed to be is, so fun. But when I get to go fight Eidolons, it's daytime on the plains and there's only 10 minutes left. Or there's only 10 minutes left. Not and, so it's or there's 10 minutes left. When I actually do start fighting the Eidolons, I feel pressured not to mess up because there's only a limited time for me to kill the Eidolons. Right. This is part of the rant I had earlier. Time-gated stuff.
Time-gated.
Right? Yay, nay. What are people feeling?
I like it.
I think time gating Eidolon hunts is I think it's a way to, for people to equip themselves and separate, try and do the Eidolon hunts faster, right? And it's a way for people to I guess work towards maybe like separate from the you get what I mean. It's like what do I say? But yeah, I don't mind the time gate stuff with Eidolon.
I have problems with the time gating, but not to flog a dead horse. One thing I will say, I don't like it because when trying to introduce new players to Eidolons, like, you're only limited to go so far because you only have a small window to do it in. If you got players that have never done an Eidolon before, that have never particularly... I can't remember, Loz, you were there. How many of the Eidolons did we get to fight with Lou and Rich? Was it just the terror list? Or...
Well, I got to do it. You weren't there.
No, I was there.
You weren't in the room. You weren't fighting with me.
The Eidolon, it's not a room for a start. It's outside.
Well, it was just me.
What do you mean?
I was soloed it.
No. With you. Sorry, it was me, you, Lou, and Rich. It was the first time and the only time they've done it.
It was me, Lou, Rich, and you were on comms with us.
I saw it. I witnessed it.
Well, then you were useless, weren't you? Because I basically soloed that. It was painful and took forever.
I was healing them. I was keeping them alive. I was Oberon.
You're doing no damage to the Eidolon then. Did you have a moat amp or something? Was that why we were doing it?
No, I don't think so. They had moat amps, sure.
Because, like, normally, if it's just me by myself, I can solo on this really quickly, but then it's scaled, obviously, to 4 people.
That's not the question. The question is,
it
how
took forever.
many... Yeah, but was there only one? Did we only do the terror list?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. So we did the terror list. They did not enjoy it, and we didn't have time to do anything else. Yeah, okay, fine. I couldn't do any damage. I probably had something like... God, what would I have taken? I don't think I would... Maybe I took Catchmoon, but Catchmoon wouldn't have been as effective. I don't know, but...
I don't think you were there.
No, I was definitely there.
I think...
I was definitely there. I remember doing the terror list. I remember Rich raging.
He wasn't raging. Lou was worse because she was being called for food.
Right. But I couldn't remember. Yeah. So I was definitely there. Anyway.
I think you're misremembering that one, I'm afraid.
Well, okay, fine. If Mr. Can solo them in no time,
because there's multiple people.
So you're telling me that you could have done it fast. Sorry, you couldn't have done it any faster.
I was fighting so hard to try and do that as quickly as I could.
Right.
I really was.
Okay.
Wait, you weren't healing it. I was doing it on Trinity because that's how I solo them.
No, I have Oberon.
No, but I don't think
Trinity.
you were there.
No, I was there.
Because I think me and you could take one down fairly quickly. Because I've seen
Do you
the damage you
remember
can
the
do.
24-hour thing?
Yeah, we did them really quickly.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
No.
We could.
No, we
got
did like one Terror List a night. That was it. We didn't bother with the Hydra List or the Gauntlet List. We had no time. I also had the
did a
Motam.
Hydra List once.
Huh?
We did do a Hydra List once.
Did we?
Yeah.
God. Okay, it doesn't matter. The whole point. Right, fine. Even so, the case still proves that
The core issue is it was a very time-consuming thing.
Yeah,
and
as
the point you is taking new people into that content is not very friendly.
No, it's not friendly in the slightest.
They've got low equipment to do it. The amp, they don't know what they're doing. It's a.
You mean
the thing was it's a visual mess. Oh my god, it's a visual mess. Trying to okay, it's a thing. Hit the thing. What? Why is this? You know, it's.
So, I dislike the whole time-gated nature of doing the Eidolons. I much prefer the way you can do the... Oh gosh, what's the Orb Mothers, the Exploiter Orb, or... You know, you can do them when you want. You can do them as you want. What?
I was thinking, because 2 of the Eidolons you summon, why don't we just have it that you can earn a resource? Because I remember before we've talked about this, about maybe putting in a resource that allows you to turn it to night for a mission or something. I was thinking, now, why don't we just have a thing that we can acquire through other missions that is used up, that forces an Eidolon up during the day? Just you go to the same summoning terminal that you use for the other 2, and you just use a different item basically, and that way you can fight it, but you can fight it for as long as you want, and it won't go to sleep, and it's just up.
SprinKah?
I don't know. I don't think that's. I mean, lore-wise, yes, it's about the lore, right?
Well, you would have is you would just say it's a void energy. What would I say? I wouldn't say drill, but basically what the device does is it shoots mass amounts of void energy into the water, contaminating it, that forces an Eidolon out, and it can't return because of the fact that you've poisoned the water, so it has to get out of the water for it.
I think that's overcomplicated way of doing it. I think they could just implement a sort of a exploiter orb sort of thing to Eidolons. I mean, that would be nice. Maybe make it so that you can't do it. You can't spam it all the time. Perhaps. But yeah, it's a slippery slope. In a way, in my opinion, the time gate stuff, it separates veterans from new players, right? I mean, new players, they got something to work towards. I know it's not all fun and games, but
it's
not what it is.
It's not just separating veterans from new players. It's also separating people that have busy lives with people that have crap tons of free time. I mean, I'm busy as it is. I imagine if I had a family, I'd have no time at all to play Warframe on any regular basis. Maybe I get to play it once a week. You're going to say that?
Right. I was waiting.
Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, I don't think that's fair enough. I think that at some point you have to draw a line in the game, and Warframe does a much better job of this than other games in the fact that you don't really need to kill Eidolons yourself. If you want arcanes, you can buy them. I guess if you want a better than a moat amp, you'd have to do that. But to be honest, the only reason you need a better amp is for doing Eidolons. That's pretty much all the better amps are for. If your moat amp will still do void damage to a sentient and remove all the debuffs on it, so you don't really need it. So I don't think a game should have to try and cater to all the possible life of everyone and still give equal reward. If you are like, oh, well, I can only play Warframe for 45 minutes every third Sunday, why can't I get everything? I mean, If you can't play, it's not like the game is forcing you to play the game on specific days, or it's limited time stuff. To be honest,
here's a question: World of Warcraft, right? So it's SprinKah. This is something that
that is an example of a worse one in my opinion. Yeah.
So World of Warcraft, is there a dungeon or raid you have to do? Sorry, not a dungeon, a raid you have to do. No, I include dungeons within a small window.
Not really. The worst you'll get is things like time walking, and this is purely optional anyway.
No, I'm referring to you start it and then you have to complete it within 30 minutes or something like that.
No, not anymore. They used to have that kind of stuff, which is quite surprising. Like when you kill Major Domo, you have 2 hours to kill Ragnaros before Major Domo despawns and Ragnaros despawns. They don't do that anymore.
Right. And why was that?
Because it was just silly. They never planned it out. They built Molten Core in a week. So
did they?
Yeah, apparently they did.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. And is there to further the question? Are there any raids or dungeons that you can only do at certain times in the day?
No.
So you can do them at any point.
No. Yeah. The only issue is you need to bring multiple people to do it.
Right. Well, I mean, that was kind of, detracted when, what's the name of the dang thing?
Raid Finder came out, and that's the thing I was going to say. Any particular reward you need for raids, and my thing was going to be that they do give those rewards. There's like, normally that they separate a raid into wings, and the last boss of each wing will drop some important component for whatever. Like essences, I don't need to explain what they are, but you get less of them in Raid Finder, but you can still get them through Raid Finder, but it'll take you a longer time. And obviously you can do Raid Finder whenever you can, but you do need to set aside depends time in the queue. So yeah, but there's options,
Yeah. Right. Okay. So, okay. I think I don't really have much more I want to add to this.
Yep. Okay. She goes replies.
Yeah.
So the first reply says, nope, the time limit is part of the challenge. Their drops are supposed to be hard to obtain, although cheese farmers have trivialized this too. This reminds me, I need to farm some Eidolons, as I need some brilliant chance to rank up with the quills.
I just want to point out that's not what this post was about. The post wasn't about how long you had to do it in. The post was when you could start it. They go to fight them and it's... it's daytime, or they only have 10 minutes left of night.
No, when I start fighting Eidolons, I feel pressured to not mess up because there's only limited time for me to kill the Eidolons.
I apologize. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. The first section is, but then the second section isn't.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So
next play. I dislike the time gate for making it difficult to do consistently, but I can appreciate the challenge it offers. I'm indifferent. See, this is why I'd rather. I know it's thematic that they come out at night. And that makes sense, but I think having, a time-limited item where you can just force them up or something like that. Maybe you could do it that Samaris makes a synthetic version you could use up a resource for.
I like what you've proposed because, I mean, it just makes me come back to the whole... So, years and years and years ago, when both Loz and I were at university, we did a role play and... the GM basically just kept on letting us fumble around like idiots. We had no hand holding in the slightest, and we were trying to work out what we were supposed to do, and it wasn't until one of us turned around. You remember this? And he just the guy just wait, I've got this. We wait.
Right. I hated that.
Yeah, I hated that as well.
Being an idiot, and it's like you're not. You need to facilitate the story.
Yeah, and basically the GM just applauded the guy. He was like, "Yes, excellent. You should wait." I was like, "Look, we're all new at this. Every single one of us is not a veteran in any capacity of playing role plays. None of us knew we could just." Wait, but the problem for Warframe with this time-gated stuff is it's tied to real time. You can't wait.
It's interesting because I remember his reason for he explained that as well. It's not a computer game. You can't just do an input and expect a response. Like, yeah, but you're supposed to be the mechanism for helping us maneuver this. And you'd be like, you should have said, you guys can wait around if you want, maybe, or you could do this. Like the goal is to move the story along. Yeah. But anyway, in Warframe now, I was just thinking about this. Would I do more Eidolons if they were more easily accessible? I probably would. And I like that that's the problem. I think it's over-designed with the night system, that there's no other method to do it. Maybe that you could get a thing from tier 5 bounties that is a Eidolon fragment. You then take the Eidolon fragment to Samaris, and Samaris goes, I will, for expending this resource, Hunter, I will make a simulation of this beast for you to fight and unlock its potential. And you then get to fight a Eidolon. It takes you to a simulation of the planes, exactly the same system. They have to make anything. And then you go to the terminal and you input the thing. It's like, interesting, Hunter. Things are happening with this. It's reacting. And then you fight. That's how you fight a Eidolon of your choice in your own time.
I want to improve this. I want to say you have to scan the Eidolon, right? You have to take images for Samaris. Right, Samaris is working in conjunction with the Quills. The Quills have to give you some random MacGuffin. But what Samaris doesn't realize is, with how accurate the recreation is of the Eidolons, the players are able to get arcanes from these recreations. Something something outside of Samaris' control. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, this shouldn't be happening. Why are you getting this stuff?
Well, no, he could just be the sample that you bring him of a Eidolon, just from his experimenting on it, it just changes into the arcane, or the arcane is,
or
he gets the arcane out of it.
Alternatively, you get something else, which is alternatively turned into the arcane if you want lore reasons.
Or something you take back to the Quills and they swap it for an arcane.
So I wouldn't say you had to constantly take pictures. You just had to get enough scans.
I didn't want to say something like the scans, because I'm not sure if you can. It would just have to be of the Hydra list, or the Hydra list.
The Terror list?
The Terror list, because my goal was to give you an option to do this without fighting them, because that's the problem we're overcoming here. So that's why I said put it on rank 5 bounties as like a rare reward.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Sorry, what do you think, SprinKah?
Yeah, I think the whole Samaris thing would be good to implement. I mean, it makes sense. It's sensible. I like it.
Very nice.
Next reply is no, just no. The time gating.
Wasn't that the first one?
No,
sorry, yes.
No, just no. The time gating makes it what it is. It's a test of skill and effectiveness. Plus, if it wasn't time gated, people would do it for 3 days straight and then just stop. The value arcanes would plummet. It's fun to have 50 minutes and trying to do the most you can in that time.
Fuck the value.
I agree with that too.
I don't.
I agree with that.
You can't say, like, okay, fine. Keep the time limit. Just allow the start to be whenever you want, right? So you have 50 minutes total to do it in, right? But you can start whenever you want. And I'm sorry, screw the whole economy on arcanes, because
so
you can't. Yeah.
The arcane has already plummeted.
I agree with that too.
They used to be really expensive when they were from raids. You could only get like 1 a day or 2 a day.
Yeah.
Or 3 a day, maybe. I'm not sure.
That's
but it
true.
was very limited. Now, there are a lot that they've already plummeted massively. So, yeah. And if we wanted to at least maintain it in some way in the system we're suggesting, what you could do is that you have to rank 5. And this is the whole point of the system we're suggesting, is not as this is an alternative to doing Eidolons. That if you want to do Eidolons easily and accessibly, just go do them at night. This is just as an option for other people who maybe can't do it or want to do it another way. Yeah. You'd have to do the rank 5 bounties to get 1 item. You then take that item to Samaris. You then have to do that multiple times to build something to do the Gauntlet that's next.
Yeah.
What's the
Terrorlist, Gauntlet, Hydralist.
Yes, you'd have to, let's say, do the Terrorlist 3 times to get 1 Gauntlet summon, and you'd have to do a Gauntlet 3 times to get 1 Hydralist summon, and then to get something, you're going to have to get 9 of the items from tier 5 bounties before you could do this. So that way, it's an alternative, but it's not the optimal way.
I wouldn't necessarily want to force people to constantly do a series of bounties before.
You could also put it as a exchange or a chance at exchange from the, not the Quills, They live on Earth.
Ostrons?
Ostrons, yes. You could have put that way. It would reduce the amount you need to grind on tier 5 bounties. But
Yeah, my problem is like, so you just proposed, was it 9?
Yeah, it's very grindy. And
so I mean,
is an alternative. It's not supposed to be the best alternative.
That would be, I think it's approximately 20 to 40 minutes per T5 bounty.
Maybe, yeah.
So let's just say 30 minutes. So that's 4.5 hours before you could do one Hydralist run.
Yep, this is not meant to be the optimal method of doing it. This is meant to be an alternative for people who go, because obviously that's if you just did it full. But let's say, do you remember your example of the person who's got a family?
Are you guaranteed this item?
Worst, maybe 50% chance, but maybe guaranteed. Maybe guaranteed once a day or once a reset.
To get one of these items?
Guaranteed one, chance on others.
Okay, I think that's too high. I get what you're going for, but 4.5 hours, people would just be like, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to...
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's my thing. Is I don't really want people to be aiming for this way, because it's going to give it. The whole point of this is it'll give exactly the same rewards as what you do for just doing it at night. So that's the more optimal method.
It doesn't. It's just because you've got 4.5 hours before you can do one, but you might as well just wait 2 hours.
Stop! You're doing this where you're combining all the timers. I'm taking your example of your dad with a family who can only log on for 1 hour a night, and in a week. Maybe he can only do 1 hour a week, and he does that, and he gets his thing, and he starts building this up over a month, and then he gets to do his Eidolon. I mean, I'm just, that's what this route is for. This route is not the optimal path. If people want to do it, they'll just use the system that's already there, go do it at night. This is not supposed to be, I'll stop doing it at night because I can use this system. This is just a alternative for people who can't always get on with the night system.
Okay. I would argue that this is not an alternative if you can't do it at least as frequently as the existing system.
It needs to be less frequently. Because otherwise it will just become, people will just give up on the night system.
No,
it needs to be less.
As frequently, right?
So the same.
Yes.
No, it needs to be less efficient than doing it at night.
Why?
Because otherwise people will just do it. If they are the same, people will just do it instead of the night.
No, because it's more work.
They'll still just do it more because they don't want to do the night system.
I really don't.
I promise you they will.
If you said to people, right, you have to do 2 hours of stuff before you can do a night run in the Samaris Synthesis Eidolons, right? They would go, right, okay, so I can either wait approximately 2 hours to do the existing Earth-based ones, or I could do it now, I could farm it up,
I think you're forgetting the part where there isn't the same time limit when you fight these ones for summoning it.
No, there should still be the same time limit.
But how do you put the time limit for the Gauntlet? Or the Hydralist?
No. You'd have to go through the whole same existing process. You'd have to start with a Terrorist, summon a Gauntlet, summon a Hydralist. You can't...
No.
Why? That's what it is right now.
No,
you can't skip it.
Exactly. My goal is this is more grindy, but more guaranteed reward. So you just summon one at a time, and you fight one at a time.
No, I think it should just be a mimic. It should just replicate what is already existing. Anyway, I think we're going...
Anyway. Well, last one. No, we're arguing the minutia of the system when really we should be discussing the overall part.
Yeah.
We both agree that there should be something. We're just fighting on like time to play and things, and that's not important.
Okay.
The only downside to Eidolon/Orbs is there aren't dedicated servers for that specific activity.
What? Oh,
I don't think that's how it works, right?
No. I think they're talking about like the raid school bus. There's no dedicated community to farming Eidolons, right? So, like, I literally 10 minutes before I started recording this, I had someone come contact me from the Conclave community, and I didn't realize how huge the Conclave community is. It's massive. There's a Discord for it and everything. But the Eidolon, there is no Eidolon hunt community that this person is saying. There probably is. It's probably just not as readily found.
Are you sure about that? Because I get asked a lot of people about like, ooh, is this Riven like Eidolon, approved, right? I don't know. I think Eidolon Hunt is more popular.
Wow, I mean, I've never have that.
Seriously, yeah. I mean, maybe the Eidolons, they just don't go around making Discord servers.
Yeah.
People talk a lot about, min-maxing for Eidolon specifically. I've seen it at least on Facebook groups and such. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Maybe it's a secret community of Eidolon hunters.
Lol.
One cannot join it. One must be invited to join.
To be honest, I don't do Eidolon that much, so I wouldn't know.
Exactly. I know most people like that. That's how they keep their secrecy. Anyway, the last one is, this is honestly what I disliked the most about them. They can be a huge grind, which might not necessarily be a bad thing. It's good to have some long-term goals here and there. And if you were just getting focus and Bank of Arcanes, this was a huge pain trying to get the timing of night starting down. Oh, that's an important question. Do you guys bother doing Eidolons for focus lenses?
No.
No, I barely do.
You just just go do ESO. ESO just gives you all your day's allotment of focus in no time at all.
Well, yeah, but the lenses.
I don't even have them. I just have the the second tier of lenses. I haven't bothered with.
Well, how did you get those?
Are you kidding? That's the one where you get 4 of the base one and then you just stick them together. They're on the market. The blueprints are on the market. No, wait, were the blueprints on the market? You could buy them off of the market for like bog all. I didn't get the Eidolon lenses. I didn't bother.
I really don't understand.
Also, I think the Eidolon lenses were rewards off the bounties.
Huh?
What?
The basic lens.
Yeah.
Where are we getting that from these days?
I thought
bounties. They're on bounties now, right? So you don't need to do them. No, they're on bounties. So yeah. So it's this person's point of getting focus and Bank of Arcanes. Oh, Arcanes. Sorry, I thought you said lenses there. Sorry, it's Arcanes. Yeah.
Okay.
You can get the lenses from doing bounties. Then you can just do them. You can get the greater lens. You can't get the Eidolon lens, but really, it's only
I think the Eidolon lenses are on the bounties, aren't they?
This blueprint can be obtained from tier 5 Cetus bounties.
Yeah.
It does take Breath of the Eidolon, though. Yeah. Yeah. No, I you can just buy Arcanes. Arcanes still aren't necessary. I only have one set of Arcanes. Really. No, I've got 2, I guess. But
I don't know. I feel that in some places they are necessary.
However, right, okay, just before we're on the topic, and we're gonna stay overarching here. We're not gonna get bogged down in the minutia. Do you guys feel long term that focus and the operators and amps need a overhaul to get players accessible and up to speed with them? Just simple yes and no, or should it stay as this quite weird long grind with weird mobs you have to fight to get all the best stuff for it and that are quite inaccessible? Or should it at some point get a bit with a daily cap? I hate that daily cap so much. Or do you think this whole thing needs a bit of a rethink and a revamp and a streamlining?
It depends on what they're going to do with it, but for the most part, yes.
No. No, I don't know. I mean, are you talking about like the operator weapon stuff?
Yeah, the whole thing to do with the operators, basically, to get the weapon or get weapons, to get focus. And how many have you completed any focus trees yet, SprinKah?
I only have mad. I couldn't care less.
But have you unlocked all your waybounds?
Yeah, I unlocked everything in my right.
I know, but your waybounds from the other trees.
Oh no, I don't have any other school yet. I only
Why is that?
I guess it's just not that much of a impactful thing for me. I guess I mean, I do okay with Madurai. I don't need these energy energy poses stuff, right? I don't really.
Which one's
I don't
Madurai?
even. Madurai is the one that gives you damage focus ability. Things
Right.
like more damage and stuff. I think it's it's not the most useful school out there because enemy scale, right, and the damage do basically nothing to them. But it does have some utilities like the radio blind and the stun and stuff. But
Right.
yeah, I know that there are better schools for the best efficiency in missions stuff. I just don't think it's really necessary. You just shoot things with your guns. That's it. Yeah.
That's part of the issue.
Yeah. In the end, I don't think they're necessary enough for me to put effort. Maybe they could use a revamp. Maybe they could use some rework. But honestly, I want them to focus on other content.
Interesting. Kind of sad because that means you're abandoning this whole system. Basically, I don't mean directly, but it kind of is. If you don't do something with it and make people, if people don't have to do the content, and it's because that's the thing. I feel at some point, personally, a complete focus tree and maybe all your waybounds, you should have to have content that requires that to do. But at the moment, you never do. It's just kind of on the side there. It's like,
Everything's optional.
Everything is optional. Nothing is important to complete the game. Everything is optional, so you don't do anything. Sorry.
It's a little sad, though. I mean, they could have. I really, because when they kind of teased the whole operator combat thing, I thought this is not gonna do anything, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, they could have done something. I'm for sure, but if because we got Warframes. Why do we need to bring out some kid without any armor or any shield to fight? What's he gonna do?
He could go invisible and heal stuff.
Oh yeah, that's too. That's okay, I guess. But it's literally just that most of the time.
I think,
and it removes debuffs from sentience. That is it.
I think one thing that would have gone a long way had there been, I want to say a litany of different Orokin technologies scattered around the environments, like the whole Golden Moor. Have that around, then the operators come out of the Warframe, jump into those, and then huge temporary buff, like you're flying around murdering things, and then nope, it broke now. You've been in it for too long.
I mean, it depends, right? Do you get to put mods in the Orokin mod?
No, right. I'm saying that it's sort of like an environmental, like a vehicle that literally you drive for a very short period of time. You murder everything. It's like a level, I don't know, 100. No, say 500. Level 500 enemy that just murderizes everything. Right?
Fair enough.
But you can only have it for half a minute.
Right, so one will spawn maybe per map or every 30 minutes, and you can use it for a minute, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would only actually really work in maps that, let's say, open world maps, right? Like Fortuna or...
I think...
could work on Lua.
I think it depends on what that vehicle is. Because if it is something as, lengthy as the Golden Moor, I think, yes, you're right, it depends on the environment. But if it could be something small, it could be something bipedal, it could be anything.
Yeah. They could do something about it. They could, you're right. I mean, the passive buffs are nice, but I think, in the end, I think operators are still kind of pointless.
I love the Vazarin one. I'm all about
Vazarin. Just...
Cool. Shall we move on to the next topic?
Yes, please.
Right. Okay, so next topic. Topic 2. The amount of things that one-shot non-tanky Warframes is getting a bit high. EHP, or effective hit points, disparity aside, the number of enemies that can one-shot my favorite Warframe, Nyx, is getting a bit ridiculous. The solution is not to give everything damage reduction. At that point, just remove all damage reduction and nerf enemy damage. Toxic agents start around level 60. They can one-shot at the very start of the raw animation. Wait, they can one-shot at the very start of the raw animation while facing away. I don't understand that sentence. Crackshot Kuva flood nullifiers are immune to chaos stuns when their bubble is up, by the way. Everything in Veil Proxima, Tier 4 and up Lich missions, most Grineer except for the troopers wielding hinds, either via shield gating or rebalancing enemies, the punishment for the squishier Warframes shouldn't be instantly die when there are Warframes that can go AFK in the same mission. I agree with a lot of this sentiment. Nova was one of the squishiest frames, and until she got damage reduction on her Null Star, like, you know, she just wasn't viable realistically in any capacity. I do feel that there is a lot of what this person is saying. There is a lot in what this person is saying. I think we have too much of a reliance on armor or base level armor, and there's nothing else to compete with it in terms of shields. I don't want shield gating. I want something more intelligent, more eloquent, more customizable with mods.
Oh, right. So Nyx is one of the worst for armor.
I would have thought Banshee is the worst.
The Warframes with the least armor, which is 15 base armor. That's right. Yeah, there's several. Trinity Prime, Nyx, Banshee, Zephyr, and Volt.
Yeah,
they're all tiny amounts of armor.
How does Volt get around the armor issue?
By being Volt Prime, I would imagine.
Right, okay.
I mean, Zephyr has the wind shield, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, Volt Prime has 100 armor. Also, to be honest, Volt can just go, here is an invincible, unstoppable shield that you can't shoot me through.
Who else did you say? Nyx? Trinity. Well, Trinity can just heal herself.
And that heal gives damage reduction, which is a big reduction things. And she can NG vamp. If you wanted, you put one enemy in the air. You can also link, which is going to shift some of the damage away as well.
Who else is there, did you say? Or is that it?
Banshee.
Yeah, Banshee's in there. What can
Zephyr,
Banshee
Volt.
do?
I don't think Banshee can really do anything. Again,
Banshee probably needs a lot of rework, in my opinion.
Okay, even Nyx Prime only goes up to 50 armor, which is like so the lowest ones are 15, the next ones are 50, which is Nyx Prime and Vauban, and then 65 is Nova Prime. So even Nova and Nova Prime are probably there's loads of Warframes at 65 less. So yeah, so Nyx is just Nyx plus Nyx Prime are the lowest. Because Trinity and Trinity Prime, but obviously Trinity Prime's got abilities for it. But like Banshee, Zephyr, and Volt, their Prime is gonna have a lot more armor. So Nyx really is just pathetic for armor. I don't get maybe that base armor is just too low these days. Maybe that's just the issue. Just no Warframe should have 15 armor. Like, why not start with a minimum of 100 armor?
No, I think it should be something else. I think
just want to point out, Valkyr Prime goes up to Valkyr Prime has 700 armor.
What does Oberon Prime have? I think it's 525.
Oberon. 225 for Oberon Prime, 150 for Oberon.
225. Right,
yeah.
Okay. And then it's an extra 585 on my abilities and things. Yeah, so that shoots up.
I honestly think that if you notice, there's a lot of the old Warframes as well in this bottom list. Vault, Zephyr, Banshee, Nyx, Trinity. These are all old Warframes. I honestly think that they just need to remove them from this, just give them all more armor. Even just knocking them up to 65, which is in the realm of Nova Prime, Avara, Limbo, Loki, Titania, Mirage, Nova, Necros. There's loads in the 65 list. I honestly think that that's just the issue here. They just have no armor.
Even so, like those base level armors of like 65, they're still not worth using the armor mods. I think that so who uses the shield recharge mod? Is it just called recharge? No, what's it called? There's a shield recharge mod. I mean, this should indicate how few people use it. Like, I can't remember what it's called. What is it called?
I don't remember.
I swear it begins with an R. It's like,
what are we talking about? Recharging shields, or
it's the speed in which the shields recharge.
Oh, the basic one is fast deflection. It's got a Banshee picture.
Yes, that's the one. Fast deflection. Do you use fast? Like, so I'm just going to ask this as a community, as a poll. But like, honestly, I think there needs to be something to do with shields, making shields come back faster, making shields, maybe make shields tankier. Right? So you're improving the durability. You're putting armor on the shields. You put Kevlar on the shields.
I remember I complained about this when they used to do those. What was the podcast after the dev stream called?
Second stream.
Second stream. I was only on 1 second stream. And on that second stream, they were talking about shield gating. And I honestly said, why isn't there more shields for mods? They were saying, like, should we add in shield gating? I think Hildren has shield gating?
Yes, Hildren does.
Yeah. Right. And they were talking about, like, it's going to be... And I was just honestly like, it's not going to make that big a difference. This is honestly, I think I can go back and find
out. So instead of still getting shot, instead of one shot, you get two shots.
You just get two shots. It's like, it's not going to make that big a deal. Why can't we have more mods for shields? If you think about health, you have health and armor, and then more things to do with that. And then you've got health regenerate through melee mods as well with lifesteal and things like that. There's a lot more mods to do with armor. And sorry, to do with health. Why didn't we have the same things as armor? And then that never got really... I think Rebecca's let's talk about shield gating. And then, like, I remember a dev stream, like, 6 months later where Steve was like, yeah, we tried shield gating, and it didn't do that much. And I was like, fucking told you months ago! So it's like, I've always said, like, for instance, and I've just noticed, actually, the opposite of one of the things I was thinking about. There's actually a mod which increases your shield recharge delay, but there's not one that reduces it.
Why would you have that?
Because it gives you plus 1% health regen per second. But it means your shields will take longer to start regenerating, but you'll get health consistently, like every 1 health per second. Yeah, but there's not a mod and these days there's so much competition in mod slots. It would be a very competitive mod to try and fit it in that would reduce the delay that your shields begin to recharge. If your shields started recharging like 0.5 of a second after taking damage, they're constantly regenerating, like it's just super regenerating shields. I would take that in a heartbeat. I've always tried to play shields. But the shield recharge for mods don't increase that. What they do is you have to wait for the 3-second delay orders, and then it just increases the rate that your shields regenerate once that begins.
Yeah.
I think in the end, shield is really not that good of an HP stat. I mean,
it should be.
I don't think. I know, right? But I don't think making shield recharge instantly would do anything.
Well, you say that. I don't find myself to be not that. My Excalibur Prime that I always use feels quite tanky, and I use 2 of the arcanes, which means I think I have an 8% chance when I take any damage that my shields just instantly refresh. And I like taking Sentinels, and I take the mod on them that means when I take damage, my Sentinel will just go, have your shields back. So my shields just keep popping back to full quite often. And I like it. It's not great, but I'd take some more mods if I could do things with those shields. I can't make the shields themselves more tankier, but I can get my shields back quickly. So it's like I would use more mods if I had them.
Like,
there is none.
Why the shields capacity mod, right? So we know that shields don't work the same as armor. So when the damage is applied, the armor is deducted from the damage, blah, blah, blah. Shields doesn't have that. So why is shields have the same capacity values as that of health? So, like, if you have a health mod that gives you 120% extra health, why isn't there a shield mod that gives you like 360 extra shields? Sorry, percent extra shields. Like, why is it such a...
Oh, so you're saying to compensate for the lack of a secondary thing, which is armor, that the value of shields should just be doubled over health, because health you can mix
even
it,
tripled,
make that
yeah.
health worth more.
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah, that's one way of doing it.
And, like, you know, so, okay, so Warframes like... Anairos doesn't have any shields. Nidus doesn't have any shields, so they get zero use out of that. Warframes like Oberon Prime. How much shields does Oberon Prime have?
Oberon Prime?
Yep. I think it's 300 at base. Sorry, 300 max at base.
Shields. Shields the first. Oh, so Shields the second one.
Actually, I'm looking at it right now. Yes, it is 300.
100.
What? No, when
sorry,
30.
That's space.
Yeah.
Space, yeah.
Yeah, so he has like 300. Okay, fine. So probably reduce that down, right? So pick the frames that actually have decent armor, reduce their shield capacity so that they won't have nearly as much of, or maybe better yet, make it double shield capacity. Yeah, but just increase the shield capacity of those Warframes that have... Right, so Trinity Prime, how much at 30 shields does she have? No, unmodded.
450.
She has 450, right? Which is not too dissimilar from Oberon's 300, right? Why not make that, I don't know, 900? Yeah? Then the mod doesn't have to be changed, and all of a sudden... she becomes a lot more survivable because she has this huge buffer in front of her.
Trying to have a quick check here. The health. Sorry, the shields do go already. But base rank 30 Warframes have a lot more shields than health already. Like the most health you can have. Wow.
So I'm confused by your statement.
Oh no, hang on. That's not scaling right. Oh, no, ignore me. No, I had that the wrong way around. No, ignore that. No.
Okay.
I was wrong. I was scaling. I was like, mag is the most. I'm like, hang on, I was scaling the health the wrong way around to the shields. I was like, oh, you do? It's like, no, it's not. So ignore that. Yeah.
Okay, I still don't know what you were saying, but that's fine.
Exactly. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense.
Right. SprinKah, how do you like the idea of the squishier Warframes just having shit tons more shields?
Okay, it's a slippery slope, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say they need to rework Shield. I mean, yeah, I think they should give older Warframes or Warframes that still have existing problems more Shield. But I think, yeah,
I think
it's really tough.
the problem for me is if you just go, why not give Nova Prime or Trinity Prime, or let's just say everyone has a base armor of 100, right? Well, then there's 0 point in shields. Just take away shields, take away armor, and take away the damage multiplier of the enemies, because you're just adding in redundant systems, right? There's no choice here. There's just, yeah. But if you gave more value to shields, you had the choice of adding armor or adding shields. So tankier frames like Oberon, like Frost, like Nidus, Anairos, those frames would focus on the armor route of of protecting themselves. They can take the shields, but it won't be as effective as Nova, Trinity, Banshee taking the shields route over the armor route. I think there just needs to be a choice. And as there is no choice, then, why bother having the system in there at all? As low as possible.
I think maybe this is just an idea, or maybe you guys have talked about it before. But what if you make it so that when your shield is depleted, you get like, I don't know, 3 seconds of invulnerability, right?
The problem with that is you would want.
Nope.
Sorry.
What is that?
And maybe
Sorry, just let me check.
and maybe you make it like you can only do that every 20 seconds or something, so that it doesn't cost.
You'd need a cooldown, yeah.
Yeah, you need a cooldown.
So if you were to say every 20 seconds, this feels like the shield gating problem. Okay, fine. So say every 20 seconds you're immune for 2.5 seconds, right? Then after that 2.5 seconds, you are completely vulnerable and you're dead.
Okay, maybe make it like 10 seconds or maybe even 5 seconds.
That's too big. Like the problem I have with that is
no, I mean like the cooldown. Not
But even so, right? The problem I have with that is it is just so instead of falling over, so you can't be one-shotted anymore, but you can be one-shotted plus 2.5 seconds, right? It's.
I guess it gives you some time to adapt, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe like, Nyx, she can pop her ult and maybe survive for a little bit longer. I mean, Nyx, honestly, I think Nyx, I don't know how people are playing her nowadays, but I thought she has such a good augment that makes her basically a walking tank.
The problem is you have to take the augment. Right?
Yeah.
When an augment basically becomes mandatory, then there is no point in it being an augment. Because you need that mobility. Okay, so like let's play the scenario in our heads. Right, you're playing Nyx, you've had your shields pop, you've got this 2.5 second invulnerability, you throw on adaptation. Absorption, my bad. Absorb? Fuck, I don't know what the fucking ability is called. So you just you hit your 4, right? Yeah, hit your 4, right? And then you're immune for like I don't know, say 20 seconds. I don't know how long does absorb last. How long does absorb last, Loz?
Do you push the button again, or it runs out of mana, isn't it? Okay,
so you've got enough time for the invulnerability cooldown to disappear. Right, to the debuff on invulnerability to disappear. And...
It's a drain. Oh, no, it says duration 8 seconds. Oh, no, maybe it's 8 seconds or until you push it again.
Okay, so... Yeah, so you've lost your ability... So your... Oh, God. You've lost your shield. You've got 2.5 seconds of immunity. So you have to wait 2 seconds of that 2.5 seconds before you pop absorb to... protect yourself till your shield immunity comes back. It will very much become Nyx will be played like a yo-yo, and it will be boring for Nyx players. That is what I feel. I don't know if you
honestly, it's better than nothing, right? I mean, right now you either die one bombard shot or you maybe survive and play a little. Maybe I don't know. It's better than that.
Yeah, the thing to realize here is that I think what people want is they want to be able to pick a frame and then play that frame in every mission type at every level and be able to be viable and not experience any times when they're more squishy. The thing is, that's not how it should be. Because frames are based around they have a theme in mind. They've got a goal. Now, Nyx for absorb, you were saying how it's got to be mandatory. You've got to use the augment. But if you're doing a defense tile, you don't. You just need to defend one spot, so you don't need to really be walking around. So it doesn't matter too big. So in some situations, you wouldn't need to use that. I really think people are trying to take a Warframe. That's my favorite Warframe, and it must be always viable. But that's not how this game plays. This isn't a single player game where this is the character you've chosen and this character is viable throughout the game. in some situations, squishier frames, they're supposed to be like glass cannons. You know, maybe they work better in a team, or maybe you have to work around their vulnerabilities. But I do feel that people feel entitled to the point that I want my Warframe to be the best in every situation. If we did that, they just have to homogenize all the Warframes.
But the thing is that this person isn't saying it needs to be best in every situation. They're saying that there are a lot of situations where they are just not viable. At that point in time,
I'm not sure.
At that point in time, you've got to argue what's the point in having the Warframe in the game if you take it out the door and then it just gets killed.
Well, that's the thing I don't know, because I don't know what build they're using. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're not stacking shields or nicks. Or they're not stacking... Okay, so this frame, to use this frame at this level, you would have to put a lot more of your mods into... Are they just going, well, I want to use an ability build? That's the thing. I looked at the thread, they don't give their build. I mean, are they using... I keep forgetting the name of it. The mod that reduces damage when you take that damage type?
Adaptation.
Every Warframe.
Adaptation. Yeah.
Adaptation. Now, I'm not sure. Now, for instance, because I'm not sure if this is how it works. Does adaptation might stack up when you use absorb, and you use absorb, gain adaptation stats. When you come out, you're going to be tankier. Are they doing that? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe you have to stack because you're immune. You wouldn't be taking any damage.
Well, you're absorbing the damage, aren't you? The damage is still being applied.
No, but the damage is being applied to the bubble.
I'll actually go test it.
Yeah. So I feel that there is a lot of value in this, because if you were to look at armor, right? Say you had a Warframe that had no armor, 100 health, and 100 shields, right? 200 damage, dead, right? If you had a Warframe that had 100 armor, 100 shields, and 100 health, it would require 300 damage before it would die. Yeah? So it's or for example, it's because there is a mix of all three things, and the foundation is based on only two of them. One of them is doing... Maybe they should change it so that shields can be used to, cap damage. So much like how nullifier bubbles work. Yeah? So you can only do a certain amount of damage. Maybe there's something in that. But shields right now have no worth to them, and I completely get behind the idea that there are just some frames that can't protect themselves in any capacity. And is damage reduction realistically the answer?
I think, there needs to be some meaningful change to shield, because I don't think a few numbers changes would really do much about them, because to be honest, I test things in Simulacrum a lot.
Yeah.
And I find out that even like if I have like 1,000 of shield, right, I still get one shot, two shots or something by, let's say, a level 100 plus bombard, right? And yeah.
But then is there a point at which the bombard should be two-shotting you? You're saying, this level 100 bombard is two-shotting me, and that's not good enough. It's like, okay, right, so we make it so that no Warframe gets two-shot by a level 100 bombard. What about level 200 bombard? What about level 250 bombard? Surely at some point the difficulty should scale to the point that the mob does a lot of damage to you, so that you maybe have to play differently. Maybe you have to hide behind walls more when you're doing it, so it can't ever hit you.
I think the answer to that is yes, there should be a cutoff, but the cutoff for a Nyros tanking that damage should not be that massively different to a Banshee.
Then you're heading in the direction of homogenizing, because you're saying that the difference between A to B needs to be smaller. So either you have to bring the Nyx up, or the Banshee up, or you bring the Nyros down.
I think it should be brought up because there are fewer frames that are in this position, so it's easier work to bring them up. But that's the whole point of this topic, is the fact that there are so many frames now. There are a number of frames that cannot compete with others in this environment. So, like, I'm pretty sure that I remember before they did the damage reduction stuff for Nova, had I taken Nova into a mission, 9 times out of 10, people would have to pick me up, right? Like, every moment of every movement of every room, like, I'd be down because I couldn't compete with an Excalibur or...
Now, like I was saying about changing the different scenarios, like everyone's big glass cannon. When you go and play your Nova, do you just run into rooms like you do with your Oberon, or do you go to the door, look around the door, shoot mobs, stay around?
That's not an option.
Cover? Why not? You can.
Because
totally
the enemies can easily come in and, like, the door opens, I'm exposed.
You can. There's sides to the doors. You can actually. You don't have to be in the middle of the door. You can stand at the side of the doors.
Not all doors have sides.
No door
They're
in
flush.
this game. No door is flush to the wall in this game. Every door has at least a bevel or edge.
Not that much of a bevel.
Enough to hide a frame.
I don't think so.
Show me. Okay, well, that's your job for the week. Go show me a door where you can't hide.
Okay, I'm
nix.
looking at a door right now.
Wait, what is it? Because I'm in game.
It's the the old Zinni tile set,
General Corpus tile set.
the defense one.
The Space Corp. I don't know where I can find that map, but that's just a generic Corpus door that I'll find in a Corpus spaceship. Yeah.
No, I was just looking at one that I'm pretty sure. How much cover are you expecting to get from these bevels?
Quite a bit. Well, you're reducing the angle. It's not going to be 100%, but you go to the door. And also, then, if you go to the door and you see mobs, do you pull back? Do you just run in? Like, let's be fair. I think the truth is that everyone just does it the same. Everyone just plays every Warframe the same. You just run into the room, you'll do a bullet jump, and you go and shoot mobs. You don't think, right, I need to take cover on this mob.
But
I need to hide the railing.
The whole point is that, say I go in with Nova, okay, I have to be more cautious. You go in with Excalibur, you've flown off, you've done the mission, right? You've gone to the exit. I'm still trying to get to where the objective even was, right?
None of the missions stated were running missions forward. They were kind of, and they were all like tier 4.
None of them were missions. They were enemies.
No, they were saying maybe, I guess, but I don't think. But missions like that, where there's a start and an end, you don't fight very high level enemies. Let's be fair.
Clearly, someone has not done tier 5 Kuva Liches.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I haven't done tier 5 Kuva Liches. I'll give you that one.
Have you done the Veil Proxima?
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it.
Have you tried doing it with a Nyx?
No.
Okay. Are you radial blinding as your Oberon? So as your Excalibur?
No, I literally, I'm always the one who goes and does the objective on missions on the bases.
Yeah.
I just bullet jump through. I don't see any problem with those mobs. I honestly do not understand. Are people fighting those mobs also? Because you don't need to. What's the point of fighting those mobs?
To be honest, sometimes I've gone on those missions and there are no mobs. How many
That's
times
a bug,
how many times has SprinKah done Railjack? Is SprinKah still there? Hello?
Oh, hey, sorry.
No worries.
I changed the push and talk. So, Railjack, I see. It's kind of died down. But I used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
I did it all the time. I still don't understand. I pretty much went through it.
So when you went to the Veil Proxima, when you would you ever board the space stations or the galleons or anything like that, or were you always on the Railjack or in Arkwing?
I always have to do that.
Right.
I always have to do that. I have to fly the ship and I have to slingshot myself into objective.
Did you ever find the enemies particularly hard on the stations?
They are. I'd say they are quite challenging for sure.
What Warframe were you taking? Were you taking your Chroma?
Yeah, Chroma, and I did use Atlas as well.
Yep.
Which is Atlas as well, and I think I took a Loki. Yeah, I mean I go invisible, so they can't shoot me, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think potentially a level 90 Exo Elite Lancer would, kill a Nyx one shot if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the difficulty here is the fact that how can you be careful when other players don't have to be? Other players that take Nyros, Nidus, Oberon, even Trinity, they can just, whoop, I'm gone, right? Whereas people that have to take people that want to take Banshee, Nova, God said it to Nyx, right? They have to go in really cautiously, right? There is the problem is that there is such a huge disparity in play style that where is the fun in playing those frames?
I think in the end, there still need some reworks to be done for some Warframes, especially Bench. Yeah, I do think so too. And I guess it's really hard to satisfy everyone. It's really hard to make everything viable, and I don't think that's the way either. I mean, sure, it would be nice to make everything viable in endgame. Yeah. It's gonna be a long way until that is, come to pass. That's my piece of the pie. It sucks. It sucks that players many players like Warframes that are less viable, and they enjoy playing with them, right?
Yeah.
In the end, it is what it is, and I don't think that there's really much you can do about it. Especially, unless he decides to rework those Warframes and make them have some kind of survival ability.
Yeah, I just want to say that I've gone and testing it. Yes, when you absorb, you gain a stacks of adaptation.
Okay, cool.
So you can just sit there and get 90% damage reduction and all the time stacking you, then go out and deal damage. That's pretty tanky.
That is pretty tanky.
Okay, should we go to the replies?
Yep. So, I think buffing armor of all the squishier frames would be something pretty quick and easy they could do to help with this. Right now, there's very little benefit from running steel fiber, umbral fiber on these frames because their base armor is so low. Tanky frames will still be distinguishable as really tanky due to their abilities, but the squishier ones would have the option to run some armor mods to help survivability in high levels. They definitely should decrease the one-shot damage that enemies can do though, or cap it at a certain level. There's an interesting idea. So first of all, I think that the Warframes on 15 armor, seeing as they are all, I think they're all original frames as well, actually, the ones I listed, apart from Zephyr, they could just be buffed. Just buff the hell out of their armor. There's no reason. Seeing as they're clearly not putting any frames at that armor level, there's no reason to have any frame on 15 armor anymore, for one.
Then what's the point? So there'll be no point in shields, so take the shields away.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that basically that armor stat was invented in massively previous versions of the game.
Yes.
The game has moved on since then, is what I mean.
I get it, right? But if we're going to change the armor values of these squishier frames, then yes, okay, broad sweeping statement. What is the value of continuing to have shields? You might as well just take them away. Then you might as well just reduce the damage of the enemies and take away armor.
I like the straw man you're setting up because that's not my issue at all. That's separate. That's fine that you're looking at that water stream over there, but I want to talk about that skyscraper over there. No, there's still an issue here that we could fix really easily. I agree that it wouldn't be the whole solution, but I do believe that these frames have just been left behind and just forgotten about. Is what then their armor stat is from 3 years ago, and just there's probably even different mobs have come out. So, seeing as they're all old ones, apart from Zephyr really is an old frame. I think that if you think how many mobs we've had come out and how many different environments to fight different mobs in since then, that armor stat is just a relic of the past that has not been updated. Is all I think. I agree with your points, the other points you're bringing, but I think that that's something we could just do today and make a bit of an improvement.
Would you agree that's a band-aid fix?
Yes. Oh, totally.
Okay.
Totally.
Okay, cool.
120% that's a band-aid fix. But the thing is, we could do that today, and I think that is a small part of the issue that could easily be resolved.
Okay.
Yeah. But you are right about the other things. But but we can still do that, and it can still be good. Right. Moving on. What is the next thing? Oh, sorry, the next bit, sorry, was this person saying about cap at a certain level?
Yes.
So what that would be is that, let's say, big attacks, let's say like a sniper shooting you or a bombard, could only do a maximal damage. So it would be fixed, I guess. It'd be like true damage, but it would be fixed at a certain
Then there's
value.
no point in... Well, I don't know. I think this is going counterintuitive of the design that the planning on bringing in for the
Well, what I mean is that,
armor scaling.
in theory, I would assume what would happen with high-level missions is you'd get to the point where you wouldn't be able to kill enemies as quickly, though one mob could only, in one shot, could only do, let's say, 300 damage per hit, maximum. Eventually, if you're not killing them quick enough, you'll have 2 or 3 mobs. See, yeah, I don't think it would actually have that much effect, because you still feel the same thing, wouldn't you? You just get eventually that 3 mobs would one-shot you in one go, instead of 1 mob shotting you. You still get one shot, yeah. Sorry, next point. In fact, that some of my... Sorry. The fact that some of my other ideas would never actually make the bar just because they don't have the ability to avoid one-shots at all is just frustrating. I hate being pushed to use certain frames and builds just to even be able to clear certain content. I don't mind that some stuff is harder to do without building for it, but it's just dumb that there is content that essentially gated by what functionally instant death for anything but the tankiest of immortal frames.
Not quite sure what content they're referring to.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a quick look. So basically saying armor is the big thing of it all, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, so what's for SprinKah? What's your if you weren't going to use Chroma, what else would you use? What are your favorite other frames?
I would use Nova.
Nova.
Nova or Loki. Loki is my first Warframe ever, so he has a soft spot in my heart. Yeah, around that, I don't think there's... I mean, Atlas. I like Atlas, too. But,
And do you ever feel that there's content you can't do on Nova and Loki that requires you to bring Atlas?
No, not really. I just bring Atlas for fun sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not really...
But Nova has huge damage reduction.
It's true. If you... Yeah, it can have. If you use the augment.
No. You just have to turn on Null Star. That's all you have to do.
No Star is the first ability, right?
Yeah. It's just like... I think it's build for duration, and then turn on...
But the thing is, the no stars disappear over time.
If you have the molecular prime augment.
Really?
Yeah, the molecular prime augment restores null stars for each enemy
that's what
kill.
I said. Yeah.
I thought you meant the I thought you meant the null star augment.
Yeah, the molecular prime augment.
Yeah.
And you have to put it on for no star to be fully effective.
And then she is damage reduction as fuck.
How many null stars can you have up?
Oh god, it's a silly number. I think the highest you can get is like 18.
Right, because obviously she can create 6 per cast. But it doesn't say anything. Oh, no, here it is. Yeah, current maximum of 18 particles, up to 90% is possible.
Yeah.
My word. Okay, and I guess Loki has his invisibility.
Which means that he can't be shot. Unless he makes a shit ton of noise.
I mean, the radio disarm really makes things easier, too.
Yeah. But then we could say with Nyx, I mean, the bubble makes you invincible, and you can chaos all the enemies so they don't even shoot you, in theory.
Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, I play Nyx a lot, too, but not as much as the other frames. And I survive, you know.
So is this a case of get good scrub?
I'd say so, yeah. I'd say so.
Lol.
I mean, I think Nyx is a hard support Warframe, so she's not really that much of a engagement Warframe, so in the end, I think it's fair for her to be not as tanky as others. But I'm sure they could have reworked her a little bit more, or used augments to make her better. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe something like the mind control target draws threat, so that mobs don't attack her; they attack the mind control target as long as you keep it up.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Because I looked at the augment for it, and it just gives the mind control target 500% more damage. I'm like, that's nice, but do you know what? I'd like if that ability was like your tanking pet, so then you could tank with it. You know, it would make more sense. But no. And then, like, I thought we were getting rid of psychic bolts. Why is it still here? Oh dear.
I truly don't understand the first ability of Nyx. I really don't.
Should we keep going?
Right, sorry. Go straight to my Nyx again. While I of course agree that this mysterious bug should be squashed, the increased lethality makes support frames much more useful lately. Almost all of the new frames are very self-sufficient and catering to the solo experience, but Warframe is a co-op shooter as well. Nyx isn't squishy anymore. Nyx isn't squishy anymore if Nezha gives her a halo, Trinity blesses her, and Baruch shares his daggers, for example. That's a fair point.
Yeah, but like, how often? That's the whole reason why I take Oberon, is because I end up with pubbies where people don't take support frames. Like, always...
so you're supporting them.
Yeah, but I feel at the same time I can't take Warframes like Nyx, sorry, not Nyx, Nova, because you know she is a lot squishier. But I'm never playing with anyone that will actually take, apart from like Armena, who will take Trinity. Honestly, I would, whenever I do arbitrations, like, okay, who's taking what? No one's taking support? Okay, I'll take Oberon. You know, it was always the way. This is the way.
So you know the way.
This is the way.
The last one is this. The thing is that some Warframe teach you to be lazy. I've learned the game with Mag. I've been in sorties and in tier 4 missions with her. It was not easy, but I did it with very few of the very good mods, and I wouldn't have done it alone. I think that's the thing. I think that there's something in this last point that it is trickier to play the same thing with Nyx, but you have to play differently, and you have to mod differently. But I think that they just want to mod like the Aniroses and the Niduses of the world are modding, and then go, well, why can't I tank them as easily? This is not fair. When they need to adjust their builds, they need to adjust their playstyle, I think, and also maybe consider playing with others, because it is a co-op shooter. It's a very good point. So yeah. But anyway, so let's just round a thing. I think we all agree that maybe there is a issue. There definitely is an issue here. I don't want to disregard what this person's saying. The goal and the solution for it, there is definitely some band-aid fixes that could be quickly applied, but the underlying issue, I think, needs a bigger think. Do we all agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go on to the third topic.
Yay!
Always getting tired.
Nope, I despair. So, SprinKah, I assume you haven't subjected yourself to my rants of how I hate the Nemesis system of Shadow of Mordor.
Yes.
The topic is why Shadows of Mordor's Nemesis system worked and why Warframes doesn't. So, they put didn't. I mean, it's not past tense. Right, so... Okay.
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to... Oh, no, I won't get it installed now. I'm going to find it. I know I have it. Do you know what it's called? Is it Mordor Shadows of War?
No, it's Lord of the Rings Shadows of Mordor.
Lord of the Rings.
I mean, if you want, I was actually tempted to install it, so we could play it while you were over. Just so you could see how fucking infuriating it is.
We'll see. No, don't worry about it.
Anyway, I don't know how long it would take. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
In Warframe's Nemesis system, you don't really forge an actual connection with your Lich. You just kill them and then move on. In Shadows of Mordor, every single Nemesis was some fearsome foe that you had to that had an unimaginably personal connection with. In fact, 90% of the Uruk captains were easily killed and not memorable. The thing that made Shadows of Mordor great wasn't every single captain, but the 5% of Uruk captains that was what made the system so great. The biggest problem with Warframe's Nemesis system are that you can't have more than one Lich at a time, and the Liches don't come back after you kill them. The most memorable enemies from Shadows of Mordor were the ones that came back again and again. It would create a history between you and the Nemesis, where you won sometimes and lost sometimes. The amount of Nemesis, I think that's supposed to be Nemesis, created very interesting what? The amount of Nemesis created very interesting situations where you may fight 5 captains at once, or where you may send a death threat to a captain, then get ambushed by him on your way to honor it. That was interesting. Another connection was formed by the Nemesis. Sorry, the names of the Uruks. For example, Narug, Beast Slayer, Bolg, the Executioner, Akoth, the Deranged. These names are not only pronounceable, but also mean something. Narug could easily kill beasts. Bolg would always execute enemy Uruks when I sent him out on missions. This is not talking about Nemesis of Shadows of Mordor. This is talking about Shadows of War. You fuckers! Don't.
Is that the second game?
This is the second game, not the first one.
Right.
Right. The way the Nemesis is spawned in naturally made the system feel organic and not forced. You literally chose the exact element and weapon of your Liches Warframe that removes any and actual connection to your Lich, because you purposefully made them with a specific element and specific weapon. If Warframe does fix the Lich system, they shouldn't add meme Liches, or at least keep them in very small doses. Their mass inclusion was one of the worst parts of Shadows of War. Classes and advanced classes further differentiates the Uruks, and would also have power struggles between the Nemesis themselves.
Nemesis.
It doesn't say that, though. The Nemesis themselves, they would attack, grow in power, and even kill each other without doing a thing. It felt natural and legitimate and not forced. I like Warframe, but Kuva Liches are not a unique enemy. You have to get a female and male Lich to get them all. In Warframe, the Liches have no unique personalities. In Warframe, they don't look distinct. In Warframe, the weaknesses are extremely basic. In Warframe, Kuva Liches don't have any unique powers. They all just have they're just all very similar. Oh my lord. Okay, SprinKah, have you played Shadows of Mordor or Shadows of War?
I have not, but I have watched videos of them, so I kind of get the gist of it.
Okay. I'm going to do my spiel first.
Okay.
It is not... So it's common knowledge, I dislike Shadows of War and Shadows of Mordor. I hate the systems because if you die, your opponent gets stronger. How can you kill something that is getting stronger from your deaths? It is like saying, okay, every single time Onyxia kills me, Onyxia is harder to kill later on. Or better yet, every single time Vor beats me, Vor gets harder, to the point of you can't compete. You cannot beat him, right? The only way to deal with it is hopefully another NPC will kill them, right? It's stupid. It is such a flawed foundation of a system. You have to... Okay, fine. You have to pick and choose your battles. But, like, okay, so how is it enjoyable when you're going down some valley, you see the Nemesis that beat the crap out of you, you know, without any effort, and you go, oh, I must now run away. You know, that's not really an option within Warframe. You can't just go, oh, shit, this corridor, it has that one Lich that will murderize me. I now must abort the mission. No one wants to do that. No one gets any enjoyment of that. You know, we are facilitating a power fantasy with Warframe. The Nemesis system I think at this point in time, I need people to ask me questions about how I hate the Nemesis system. I really hate it. It's so stupid.
Well, I'm not sure on that last bit you just said, because like kind of, it's tricky. It's because it's for a different base game. I mean, this is I think it's more of an open world Shadow of Mordor kind of feel.
Yep.
Yeah. So when you're walking along, it's like I assume you're like, right, I want to sneak into that tower, and then you go, oh no, the super heavy armored one has spawned. I'm not good enough to take that. I must run away. You run away, it despawns, then you go do an objective. Whereas in Warframe, if that spawned in a normal mission, you'd be like, well, do I just have to run to the exits? It's like, because it's too tough to take.
So
it really breaks the flow of the game.
So in Shadows of Mordor, you encounter an enemy,
right,
and say it kills you. So any one enemy, any one random Grineer trooper can kill you, and if they kill you, that gives them the honor to become a captain or a higher ranking soldier. They're no longer a grunt. They are now someone awesome, right? So any one enemy can become a Kuva Lich, right?
Dude, that's what I wanted.
Right? Just by killing you, right? But in Warframe, that's not going to happen unless it's a tough as shit mob, right? So let's say it's a level 200. What's a really nasty enemy? Corrupted gunner, right? Corrupted crewman, right? They have the bore shotgun. They do corpus levels of damage with a hit scan weapon because it's a Grineer weapon, right? So imagine you had a level 150 corrupted crewman, right? It kills you. It then becomes a level 160 corrupted crewman and is somewhere in the world. You then find it again. You haven't changed, right? You haven't gotten any better. Then it kills you again and becomes a level 170 corrupted crewman, right? It kills you again and becomes a level 180 corrupted crewman. And it just keeps going up and up and up.
Well, I imagine there'd be a cap on it for one. I mean, there's a cap on Liches, so...
Quite possibly, but that's the whole point. The facilitation is that if it beats you, then it gets tougher, which logistically makes perfect sense. But for a game, it's bullshit. Because in reality, if something beats you, you're dead. You can't come back. You can't fight it again, right? You have lost. You are dead. So in a game where it's you've died, you've respawned, and then you have to fight the same thing again, but now it's tougher, you already had problems the first time.
Yeah, and the problem with our game is that there's no... I mean, it does do it for the Grass Drag 3, but normally it doesn't really offer you an opportunity to run away, an alternative in the situation. In Warframe, when you're doing a capture mission, if it's spawned mid-mission, you I guess you could try and... Can you ignore it and complete the objectives, I guess? Or, I mean, I suppose that's what it's
yes,
you can.
You can. But it's a lot harder.
But it's not very intuitive, the gameplay. Maybe we're just not used to it. But I can see what you mean. It just doesn't... breaks the flow, doesn't it?
It's fucking shit.
This is why I'm not really happy with Liches when the whole thing was supposed to be the kingpin system.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're supposed to be investigating a syndicate or, a group of a cabal of people doing a thing and it would be working towards them. So that's how you build the relationship. Whereas instead they seem to have just gone for a trial copy of the Nemesis system in this.
No, I mean, we had...
Maybe if they only appeared on the open world, maybe if it was tied to the open world stuff, it would make more sense.
God, no.
No, why not?
Because I don't want to, do the Liches just on the open worlds.
Right, but if primarily they were on the open world, and then because at the moment they just spawn in areas and missions very, very lazily,
I
just
think
spawns them.
One thing that would be good, potentially, is that you had my proposition is let's have Liches that can go level 6 to 10. Right? So when you have failed to beat them the 5th time, they go to level 6. And then their thralls, you have to use a Requiem mod on. Right? Just one. So you have to use a Requiem mod on a thrall. So you have a 1 in 3 chance of actually beating a thrall. Actually, no, I'm already hating this system. Let me finish. Maybe we could actually fix it. But the whole idea is that you have a 1 in 3 chance of actually killing a thrall. And if you don't, it can become a minor lich. Or, just, again, a level 1 lich to work in conjunction with your... So it becomes a subordinate of your major lich. And then when it has a subordinate, it goes up in rank. So it goes from 6 to 7 because it now has a subordinate. Yeah? And you're less inclined to see the level 7 lich because it's got a level... So it's got a thrall, right? And only until it has 2 concurrent thrall liches will it go from 7 to 8. Yeah?
Right.
Am I making sense?
I don't see the point of it, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it's to mimic whatever this person's talking about. Because I hate this system. I hate the Nemesis system. It's a dumb, shitty mechanic. It's the same thing throughout the entire goddamn game. And it's just agonizing.
Yeah, no, I think... I mean, I'm tempted to give it a go, seriously, but it does sound like within the game, the Nemesis system worked better for Shadows of Mordor. I mean, you might not like it as a system, but at least it within the game was more functional because you could choose to avoid, the aggressive ones over. You had options.
Yes.
Whereas in the Warframe one, you don't have the options per se.
Yes. However, I would still take the the Liches over the Nemesis system.
Oh, you like the Liches over the Nemesis system?
Oh,
okay.
Fuck yes.
Oh wow, okay. I didn't realize that you that. I thought you still hated I thought you hated the way it was implemented in Shadow of Mordor, but I thought you wouldn't think it was as bad as the Kuva Liches.
Nope. I think it's so much worse than the Kuva Liches.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to give a go at this. I think to be able to feedback. What do you think, SprinKah?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
We've listened to Xeno for his presentation. What do you think? What's your view on all this?
Yeah, personally, I like the Nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor. I like it. I mean, and I get it. I get what you mean by, I get why'd you hate it, but like personally, I like it because it just makes the game feels really alive and like. You know what I mean? Because it's like the world is always evolving and such like that.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's cool. I mean,
because obviously I've not done. I'm in the situation where I haven't tried that now. But does it make it feel like your enemies are more a real living thing and not just beat boot computers because they obviously respond to you? They have. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. Because I love because. Yeah, that's what I would like to have in Warframe. And the thing is, in Warframe, it's not... I wouldn't even say it's a Nemesis system. It's not anything like Shadow of Mordor. I mean, let's take Warframe into account, right? Shadow of Mordor is built around that system, so it's basically the entire game. So Warframe has other stuff going for it, so I think it's justified that they added a sort of, kind of copy of the Nemesis system into the game. And admirable, but I wouldn't say it's the Nemesis system. I think I'm going off rail. But yeah.
So we had Megan back in episode 200. This is like going back over 2 years ago now, and she told us that they had shelved the Kingpin system because they built it, they played it, and they found it just not fun. And this is the biggest thing that I have with the Shadows of Mordor Nemesis system. It just wasn't fun.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's different, right? So I wouldn't really, I wouldn't call you out for it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Because everyone has tastes. I mean, it's not like it's the first time I've heard people say they dislike Shadow of Mordor for that system. But I think it's unique, and it makes the game really feel alive.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you. I think that maybe they could take some more elements from it, like the whole subordinates and things like that. But I do feel that it was just too. It felt too out of your control of whether or not you won or not. And that was the thing that fucked me off the most.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to give it a go to get a feel of it. This is the difficulty you're saying of it. Should we move on to replies?
Yep.
Okay. I think the issue is also that while Shadow inspired the idea when they sat down to design...
Keep going.
I think the issue is also that while the Shadow inspired the idea, when they sat down to design it, they pulled more War...
Whoa, you just broke up.
Bearing it to Shadow. What's War of the Chosen?
I have no idea.
War of the Chosen?
No idea, never heard of it.
Well, look for that one.
No, you keep reading, I'll look it up. Is he still there?
Any idea, SprinKah? War of the Chosen?
Oh, XCOM 2. XCOM 2.
You guys.
Oh, I think I was lagging a bit there. I don't know what's going on.
Hold on.
Hello?
I think we were all lagging then. I think Discord had a moment. Right.
Yeah.
War of the Chosen is an expansion for XCOM 2.
Oh.
Yes.
XCOM 2?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. You mean XCOM 2 is in the new XCOM 2. I need to get that as well at some point. Yeah. First one was so good. Anyway, moving on. Imagine a complex system such as Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis generating a unit per active player. It's not that I'm defending Warframe's current Lich system, but to be fair, that's quite ambitious to pull off with an online game with a player base that amounts to millions. And that's probably why the Kingpin system was relegated to what we have right now. Oh, so they're saying that everyone gets a personal Lich that's unique. It's like, but anyone can fight it, I guess? That's going to be massively complicated.
Yeah.
The focus system is where the fault lies. Ooh. In the Shadow of Mordor series, the focus of the Nemesis system are the Nemesis fights. Because of that, the Nemesis were more fleshed out and interesting to make them more appealing to fight. In Warframe, on the other hand, the focus is the loot. Look at all the changes to the system they've made. Almost all of them were centered on the acquisition of Kuva weapons, instead of making the Liches themselves more fun and interesting to fight.
I'm sorry, that does not work. Like, you cannot incentivize a player base to fight something based on, like, look. Okay, I'm doing a Xeno codex on this, so like I'm prepared.
Okay.
Look at people's demand for challenge. Everyone wants challenge. They don't want the grind, right? But if you look at the nullifiers, nope. Didn't like the fact that I had to change my way of fighting. I didn't like the fact of having to jump into the bubble to just one-shot the thing and then jump out. Didn't like that. Nerf it, right? So nullifiers are... They're not a shell of what they were, but they have removed the challenge because you can either take your big gun and pepper the shit out of their shield and shield's gone and then you kill them, or you can shoot the satellite.
That's right? Good. I'm going to hook you back and push you back onto Liches.
Then you got the trial system, right?
No, I'm going to push you back to Liches.
No, I need to make these points. I need to make these points, right?
Okay.
You've got the trial system. People didn't do them because they were too difficult. They were left in the game as a relic. Percentage of the player base played them. They had to remove them because they were just holding up development of other things. challenge. People didn't like it. People didn't do it. Then you've got the... Oh, I had a third one. Crap, what was the third one? So the point is, if you do not give an incentive, a reward for the Liches, people are not going to do them. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, if you do not incentivize a reason to do the thing, people will not do the thing.
Okay, once again, you have built yourself a very powerful straw man and you punch the hell out of it, and it's very impressive. That's not what they're saying.
No,
that's
they're saying make the gameplay more fun. How do you... Don't focus on the loot, focus on the fun, right? People say they want fun, but their actions prove otherwise.
That's still not what they're saying.
What are they saying? Go on.
They're saying that all the changes have been just to get people to get Kuva weapons quicker. They're not saying that's not a bad thing to get Kuva weapons as goal, and they're not saying that Kuva weapons aren't a good reward. They're saying that's fine, but they're saying that DE hasn't done any changes to try and adjust the Kuva Lich themselves. All the changes they're making is just to speed up people getting to the weapons.
But that's not what the changes were.
What changes have they made to the actual fight? Give me changes they made to the actual fight.
They've not made any changes to the actual fight, but they haven't made the changes.
That's the point.
They haven't made any changes to get the reward faster.
Yes, they have. Or the acquisition reward. You can now pick the weapon. You can look at the Lich and say, I don't want to use that Lich. I don't want to turn that one into a Lich. You can now. I don't think it's in yet, but they're making changes. So
how is that making getting the weapon faster?
You can get the weapon that you want quicker. That's
different from getting a weapon quicker.
All that change does is it means that the player is then aware of what the end reward is going to be. Of the end reward.
Yeah, so you have an informed decision.
The focus is the end reward. Yes, no, that's fine.
Right.
But still, the focus is the end reward. There's not... If there was also... How about this? If that change also said what the special ability of the Lich was going to be, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm not going to choose that Lich because that Lich is going to be hard. But it doesn't. It's just about the weapon. The focus is the weapon.
It doesn't matter.
Not the gameplay. Have they made it so? And so, what other changes they got? I don't know if they made. I don't know if they have or they haven't. I know they're going to make the change where you can combine weapons of the same type to increase the potential.
Already done.
Is that in now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just about the reward. Yeah. They've added more weapons into the reward. Have they into the reward pool? Haven't they?
Yeah.
Have they added a new type of Kuva Lich? Have they added a new ability to Kuva Lich? Have they made it so that certain so that's their point is.
But they don't have a good foundation. Right?
But the foundation is the guns at the end?
Yes.
The foundation is the reward.
Everyone complained about getting the reward. No one complained about anything to do with the Liches except for the stupid death mechanic. Right? Yeah. That was it.
Right. So
the only other thing people complain about is the murmurs.
I think we probably could find people complaining about the fights.
Oh man, I mean, I've heard a lot of people complained about how random the how RNG the weapons Kuva Lich acquisition is. I think that's the worst part about it.
The rewards. There you go. The rewards.
Like let's say you want a comb, right? You want a Kuva comb, but it keeps giving you like Kuva Ogress, Kuva Tonkor, Kuva Kraken all over and over, and you just can't get the comb.
More focusing on the rewards.
Yeah, that's their point. Yeah. That's the point. That is the point.
But no. It's not DE is focused on it. It's the community is focused on it.
Exactly. That's why DE did it.
Yeah.
But the whole, it's not basically what they're trying to say is it's not the Kuva Lich system. They haven't added a Kuva Lich system to the game. They added a Kuva weapon system into the game.
True. I think they have shifted the direction of the Kuva Lich. It's more of an acquisition more than anything.
Yeah, that's the point.
I mean, that's why I'm bumped out. You know, it's become more of like, oh, Lich, you're just my birthday present. Okay, I'm just gonna take this and goodbye, and that's it.
But people stop doing systems because there is no reward in doing it. Right? They don't.
No, I agree with you. I agree on that. But that is fair, and I completely agree with that point. And you made a good point with to do with the trials, and I don't know on the nullifier because there's no reward for killing a nullifier or to kill a lot of nullifiers.
Nullifiers were in the way.
I know what you mean, but I personally think Kuva weapons on Kuva Liches was a big mistake. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be a reward for them, but I think weapons was a terrible choice for a reward from them. Now, I don't have an alternative to give you what it should be at the moment, but weapons was a stupid idea.
But then I argue arcanes, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I have something to counter that with, oh, yeah, you should have this. I'm afraid I haven't had time to think of a suitable reward. But personally, looking at the way weapons work in Warframe, putting weapons on these liches was just an instant landmine they stepped on, because I think we're all on the same page here, that what it's become is the whole system is now about the weapons. It's not about the liches and playing the liches and your interaction, your gameplay with the lich.
It's always about the reward. It's never.
I know, but the weapons are such a good reward and such an interesting reward and such a demanded reward that it has eclipsed the whole point of the system.
But I agree. The problem is, like, as weird as it sounds and as triggering as it is, I'm sorry, the problem is the player base. The player base has this attitude.
Oh, I agree. No, I agree with that as well. I completely agree with you. Yeah, but that's as I say about weapons, the players. That's what I mean about looking at weapons as a whole in the game.
Yeah.
You put weapons, player base. I want those weapons. Why haven't I got them now? They should be in my. I've installed the patch and I'm in for 5 minutes. So why don't I have them now?
Yeah.
They need to be. Why haven't I got them? And I did the content twice. I spent 10 minutes on it and I haven't got the weapons yet. Well, I haven't got the weapons yet. I need the weapons. And it's the player base as well. But that's why I think weapons was a terrible choice. Terrible choice.
I agree.
I don't even think. I don't know what you could put in.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I can't think of a suitable reward in alternative. But that doesn't mean we always just give people weapons because this is the result.
I don't know. Like, it's stupid how much people want weapons. They just want weapons. It's like, you can't put a Warframe on it. You can't put look at ESO and just regular SO, because we put Korra on it. Got Korra, don't care, never going to do it again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, arbitrations. Like that was the third thing that it was hard to get. No one ever got to 30 minutes, which was the first rank C rotation, right? People get to the first rank C rotation in arbitrations and then out. That's it. They do not, because it's too hard. It's too challenging. People want reward for the least amount of effort.
Yeah.
And, unless they put in subsequent reward. Maybe there's a whole new tier. They could do it so that we put this tiering mechanic in for liches, and there's a whole new tier of weapons that you can only get if the lich is level 6 to 10. That would be the only incentive for people to get. If people had the choice, they would only fight their liches at rank 1. Right? I did it because I could not find anyone to play with.
This 6 to 10 thing you just suggested would just cause more complaints.
Everyone complains about anything. It's
No. Now you're countering your earlier point.
What?
The player base, as we were saying, they demand weapons, and if they don't get the weapons quickly, and if you're going to have to say you have to play 6 to 10 to get these certain set of weapons, they'll just be like, oh, I can't get them.
And then it's DE's choice to either let the people continue to get them from 6 to 10, or they'll just nerf them and bring them into, here you go, you can get them from
they'll do
everything.
What they've done. They'll do what they've done to every change to the Kuva weapon system so far, which is speed up acquisition. They'll just do that. They'll bring it's 6 to 10.
Okay, they haven't sped up acquisition. They've only just given you informed choice.
That's speeding up acquisition.
How is it?
Because I can choose not to waste time on a lich that won't give me the weapon I want. Whereas before you had to do, it's not the lich I want. Right, I'm going to have to spend time on that lich now. And you
could get rid of that lich with Paladino.
Still would take time.
How would that take time? I've unlocked this Larveling. It is got a Toncore. Paladino, get rid of it.
Right. So what was the change of? Why did they bother changing it at all?
Because people wanted an informed choice.
You have an informed choice with this. You just go, it's Paladino, get rid of that one. Next one, that's not one. Right, I don't want to do that one. I still get rid of it. You're just making the choice at the point of before making the Larveling, rather than having to complete that mission, go see the results, go see Paladino. It's speeding up acquisition.
I can't remember what Paladino needed to.
Yeah, needs a resource as well. Oh, look, more speeding up of acquisition.
A big speed up.
It's speeding up acquisition.
Not a big speed up.
It's speeding up. Where did you have that resource?
What resource was it?
I don't know. I never did it.
No, neither did I. I just kept on doing them.
Anyway.
And I think like
Oh, yeah.
the villages aren't interesting enough to overshadow the Kuva weapons. If they were to not have Kuva weapons as rewards, I still think the Kuva Lich system is a problem. That they didn't. I mean, I understand why the Nemesis system as a whole is very big, and it's like the entire game, and making it entirely and implementing it into the game itself, it's gonna takes a lot of time, and yeah, in the end, Kuva Lich weapons, the Kuva weapons is the only reason why most people play the Lich kind of.
Yeah. To be honest, I think the problem is there are so many games these days that celebrate your most minor of achievements. Oh, look, you've put the game in the console. Here's an achievement. Literally, Soul Calibur 4 did that. It was ridiculous. You get gratification at everything you do, and now we have that in demand of our players. Like, I don't feel gratified to the fact that, I've done up my shoelace. I'm not going to play this game anymore. I don't feel gratified that I've, bought this game at super expensive edition. I'm just going to rag on it. It's. Do you know? Am I making any sense?
I agree. Yeah, people expect too much for too little effort.
Yeah,
too much. That's the player base, man. I mean, I'm mad.
I think it's just gamers as a whole.
Yeah, I just want to point out, I don't think the Paladino change ever came in.
No, it did. It was definitely in.
No, it didn't. It
didn't. It's not in the patch notes.
It did.
It's not the Paladino thing. Paladino only, gives you ribbon if you have 10 ribbon, but it doesn't really take away the Lich anymore. They didn't do it.
They didn't do it. I thought. No, I remember Rebecca saying in the dev stream that they took it out.
They did, but they didn't do it. They went for the whole, previewing what weapons you're gonna get.
It's not in the Kuva Lich amalgamated Warframe patch list. There's
right.
Yeah.
So, I've misunderstood, and they were gonna do the whole Paladino thing, but they opted to give you an informed decision instead.
Yes.
Yeah. Paladino is an informed decision.
I apologize. I thought Paladino was already in. So it was in, then was removed. My bad. Imagine how many people listening to this is like, Xeno, you're so stupid.
Well, yeah. They have a lot of patches, but can I just point out that both of them were a speed up and both of them were an informed decision?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, okay. You were like, oh, they didn't choose that. They decided to give you an informed decision instead of Paladino. Paladino is exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing, just slower.
No, but my point was that it was already like that, but it turns out it wasn't like that.
Right. Yes.
So
right.
Why I was arguing wasn't a speed up is because it was the same, whereas
yes.
it was a speed up because it was never in. So yes. I agree with you.
But it's also slower to go to a person. But that's not.
QQ.
Let's.
I think we should move on.
Oh my god! Yes, I want to get on.
Yes. Oh my god!
And you're never allowed to have another one of these topics to buy. Until I
can go get some water, please. My throat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please do.
Go. I still gotta make like freaking dinner.
Yeah, Loz. Jeez. Okay. Right.
It's like 8 p.m. over here.
Wow.
All right, should we?
Okay, I'm just going to go through replies. So I think it's also.
That was the replies.
Was it?
Yeah, that was the last reply when I flipped out.
No, actually, there's one more reply.
Oh god.
Problem with the Witch system: they have rewards for beating them, rewards that have tangible gameplay benefits. Reports people will farm for. Original system has Liches becoming months-long recurring foe, not a 3-hour loot bag. That's basically what I've been saying. Yeah.
But people wouldn't do it.
No.
I mean, clans. I mean, originally it was supposed to be clan-based.
I don't know. I think there's something fundamental to Warframe that they need to have a thing. Because this is one that, like, they tried to. What was it? Shadows of Fragments of Umbra.
Echoes of Umbra.
Echoes of Umbra. They tried to add in that as a reward. I think that's another thing that didn't make it into the game, I think.
Oh god, no, that had so much backlash.
Right. They trying to come up with other rewards for the game. They tried with Arcanes, and they just can't.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, I think you were saying earlier, if it's a simple reward like Cora, you get it, you're done, you don't bother doing it again.
Yeah.
And that's why I think they were trying to do this with the Kuva weapons, where they went, but there's some randomization in there as well of what you get and what quality you get, because they wanted people. They're looking for ways to make people enthusiastic of doing the content again and again and again. And the sad thing is, they just come up with weapons. They need to have a fundamental rethink and give us some system other than weapons that's random. Maybe mods as well. Maybe not as strong as Rivens, but maybe like with one stat Riven mods with random stats. That might make people interested.
Isn't that the same thing as Kuva weapons, though? I mean,
it's not
weapons,
but it's something you can give out in smaller increments rather than the big finish of the Kuva weapon, or you can add a bit more variety to it.
Then again, I'm not gonna complain because they gave me Kuva Hind, and I love it. Like the Hind is the first weapon I got the Riven.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Riven, when Rivens came out, a Hind Riven was what I had. And I bought it. I bought a Hind Riven for 250 Plat.
Okay.
And I loved it. I mean, I've always loved it.
I think on that positive note of actually getting something you like from the system, we shall leave it there on that, and we shall move on, because it still needs work, and it's still got a lot of work. So let's move on to the memes?
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah!
Yep.
So let's have some memes to finish stuff off with. Okay, so are you ready for...
No, wait, yes.
Meme frame review. So we've got some links there. If you see them, SprinKah, and we're just going to go through these, and they are fun.
Scroll down.
Okay, so the first one. Rated M for mature. You guys it?
Yeah.
Why should we hire you, Digital Extremes? I can draw really good butts. Welcome aboard!
Yep.
Very true.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Next.
Number 2. Taken from Instagram, not mine. Warframe, new player. So new player getting Warframe. Warframe, can't wait to start discovering how it works. New player.
It's true, Jesus. Warframe has become so... I mean, honestly, if I started playing Warframe this time, I would be bored out of my mind.
Well, I think I'd be lost.
Yeah,
forever
I'd be lost more like.
That's the thing that most new players have, is like, I feel lost, right?
Right. It's also summed up by our next image, number 3. Describe Warframe in one image. Then we have a Riven with a plus 99% chance to gain extra combo count and a plus 80.4% chance to not gain combo count.
I've got to tip my cap at this person. They have made this image, and then they took a photo of it with their phone.
Yes.
Amazing.
That's like a level of dedication there. Like I tip my cap. Like, I think that's...
I like this.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's move on to meme number 4. Professor Latron.
Oh, it's fucking awesome. I want that. I really want that.
I can't tell if they just photoshopped that in, or if they gotten the Mag Latron model.
No, that's from the Excalibur model.
Is it the Excalibur one?
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of feel that that's photoshopped in, because the lighting's wrong.
Yeah. It's a shame. Oh well, right.
But the lighting on his face is wrong as well. I don't know how they've done that. Anyway.
So, moving on to meme number 5.
What?
From the maker of Harrow Ice Creams, an infestation in Granny's garden comes budget Parazon.
Oh man. Yep, that's basically it.
What am I?
It's a
It's
spike.
it's a thing to make circle with.
It's a compass with a USB thing.
Yeah, so what is a Parazon? It's a knife that you use to interact with computers.
True.
Okay.
So they've combined them. So it's like, this is the budget version, just a USB plug and a spike.
Okay.
It's flown over too high over Xeno's head, clearly. Right, moving on to number 6. Oh yes, there was a few of these. These are my favourites.
What the hell?
Obviously, last week we got Prime Chamber coming out on Barracuteer. So Prime Chamber is now the only thing that is not unique or special is the Founders stuff. But everything else has now come back. Prime Chamber Salt. It's incredible to me. When every chamber's primed, none of them will be. And in the background, you've got the 200,000 buyer for the person who must have spent a lot of money in the past.
Yeah.
You've got the sweaty platinum mafia trading their prime chambers, and then just traders in general, all trapped by syndrome, the Barracuteer syndrome.
Yeah.
Who's going to make? When everyone's spooper, no one will be.
Yeah, that is incredible.
Indeed, it is incredible, and it's so true as well. It's like
Barrows is freaking savior, honestly.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like
I love him.
I don't think anyone's gonna I'm not gonna use it. I'm just gonna have it.
Exactly.
Right.
I was tempted to start saving up platinum to buy one at one point. I really was. I was actually thinking, you know what? Shall I get this? Shall I be like, okay, I want to? And I was just too lazy to do it.
All right, community shout-outs.
Okay.
Right. So our first lovely community shout-out is this Nidus the Luck by Bocho.
Ooh.
Deluxe. Yeah.
Oh my.
Silence. Yes.
Very nice.
Ode.
Yep. Cool. Moving on to the next one. Titled Cuties. And this is done by Rittens. So this is Mesa and Ivara Prime, where Ivara has stolen Mesa's hat.
Oh, right. That's what threw me there.
Yes,
right,
you're right.
Yes.
I did too think there were two different Mesas.
I was like, wait, is that Limbo? No.
Yeah.
No, that's not Limbo's hat. Wait, no, is that?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, Mesa. So Ivara has stolen Mesa's hat.
Right. Good. That's a very nice image and really cute.
Yep. Moving on to the third one. We have Harrow Grax by Dasta Creations. The true way to make a Harrow look. Everything else looks wrong. That may be,
Yes.
Yep, that may be targeted at Omnivoice, but he will never listen to it, so it's fine. The fourth community shout out is Loki Knave by Milan. So, what?
Sorry, I'm reading it. Statue must be made anew. Wait, have they got a cape on their statue in their dojo?
I have no idea, but it's also not a knave Loki either, so...
It's the helmet.
No, in the dojo.
Oh, in the dojo, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's... But I saw this, I thought the lighting and everything is lovely, the shading is incredible, and I had to include it. I know, I think it's appeared on Primetime as well, but I was like, no, I'm still including this. Yeah?
Yes.
Cool. And then the last community shout out.
Nope.
Sorry, you're right. I got two more. So the fifth community shout out is Gruda by Bumble.
Aww, that's kind of cute.
Yep. I want to learn how to play Gruda. Why is there a random square on it? Is anyone else seeing that?
Where?
Like
Oh, yeah.
on the right shoulder.
That's clearly the lighting that they haven't rounded. It's just a light dot that they've done as a square instead of a circle kind of thing.
Yeah, but I just thought, has my monitor got lots of dead pixels suddenly? Right, and then the last community shout out is this gorgeous operator named Helveska by Little Fernanda, which I saw this. I thought this was incredible.
It's nice.
Loz also thinks this is incredible.
They don't have any legs.
They don't need legs, Loz. Well, they are an operator and can float.
I suppose I suppose you're right. You need your right arm as well, because Amp's got on the right arm, so you don't need that left hand either.
Yep. Right, so that's it for the community shout-outs. Now, before we go on to the quote of the week, I am going to say, SprinKah, where can people find you? You know, where can people see your amazing art and pimp yourself?
I have a Facebook page and Twitter. I mean, I used to have other sites as well, but also I have an art station. I don't have Warframe stuff on.
It doesn't need to be Warframe related. You know, it's like if it's anything akin to the Grenier Overseer, I'm pretty sure Loz will completely fan out.
Oh, God, can they just hire you already? And make the game so sweet.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool? I would love to draw more Grenier.
Oh, yeah, can they just buy pictures off of you for just like, yeah, that's going in game, that's going in game, that's going in game. It's just like,
yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? I'm even thinking of like making like a whole, you know what? I'll save it for
Yeah.
ooh.
You do that.
I can't wait.
Links to SprinKah's stuff will be in the description below. So if you want, go check him out. It'll be great to show following, support, blah, 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 blah. I'm bad at this. Loz, quote.
John had grown. Oh, sorry.
What link to that lead? My Twitter?
No, we'll have all three. We'll have your art station, your Facebook, and your Twitter. Because, I don't use Facebook, but other people might, so...
Well, you guys know where I post my art?
No. You'll give it to us after the episode.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll put it on. Don't worry. You're all good. Right.
Fair enough. Okay.
So, SprinKah, I have explained to you about the whole Tennified quote thing. Loz is going to read out his Warframe quote. And yeah.
John had grown so rich, he wanted to retire. He took me to his preparation room and he told me his secret. I am not the fearsome crewman John Prodman, he said. My name is Iko Chas. I inherited the Prova from the previous John Prodman, just as you will inherit it from me. The man I inherited it from is not the real John Prodman either. His name was Bid Herdred. The real John Prodman has been retired for 150 years and living like a member of the board on Pluto.
I fucking recognize this.
It is an old film. I'll tell you, it's from 1987.
Okay, I think...
Bless your face.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless your face.
1987.
Yes.
Did it have a remake?
They're going to make one, which is sacrilege.
Okay,
Doesn't need one.
I think I know what this is. I'm probably wrong.
Go for it.
However, I'm going to go through the tradition. Is it a superhero movie?
No. It's sort of fantasy, otherworld fantasy, sort of.
Otherworld fantasy.
Yeah, sort of like almost a fairy tale, but not not really much magical elements in it, really.
But it's not in our world.
Don't think so. No. Don't know if you've seen this. It's an old film, but it's a pretty good. It's got a cult following.
Oh, this is doing my head in. I swear. Okay, SprinKah, do you have any ideas?
No.
Yeah.
You guys don't know. I don't know. I don't watch that many.
Loz, lay it on us.
Princess Bride.
Oh, son of it! How did I not know that?
It's when he's talking about the Dread Pirate Roberts
Oh!
Going to be. He's not the real Dread Pirate Roberts. He inherited the Dread Pirate Roberts.
I'm not familiar with that movie.
It's a
very
good
nice
movie.
film.
It's a really.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I forgot that. I was thinking the Phantom. Because he wasn't the original. Oh, damn it! I can't believe I forgot that.
It's a nice film. It's not. It's not saying it's not massively over the top exciting. It's not massively deep, but it is
It's
very
a good,
nice,
solid film with actual proper fencing in.
Yes, I've got the fencing scene. I've watched that so many times. It's so good.
Yeah, right. So that is it for this episode of 10 o'clock. SprinKah, thank you so much for sacrificing 3 hours of your time.
Yes, I'm so hungry.
I did not expect
I'm hungry too.
Sorry. And we will see you lovelies next week.
Thank you guys for having me. I shall go and make dinner at 8 p.m.
Cool.
Sorry. I feel...
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
But it's fine, it's fine.
I feel bad.
I've had worse. Don't worry about it. I do have med stuff.